Well, hello and welcome to our broadcast of the 2022-23 Victorian Milers Club, fourth meet of the season. We're here at a new venue, the Moonee Valley Athletics Track, there in Essendon, Thursday 9th of February. My name is Lachlan Rayner. Today, I'm going to be throwing down to Tim Crosbie, who will be live at the venue. A nice 22 degrees down there in venue. If I click the right button, there we go. Only a little bit of breeze. You can see some of the flags there. We will take a look at the timetable. Comes up on screen. First event due at 6:30, only in a few minutes time. That's the men's O800. We have 800s tonight, and the mile, scan through there, men's I800, 7:14. Moving to the next page, men's H through to the women's C800. Then we get into the A races. You can see on your screen the women's A 800 metres starts at 8:15. Going straight into the men's A 800 at 8:19. 8:25 the men's A mile, and 8:32 the women's A mile. Then work our way back through the program. You can see here, finishing off last event due to start at 9:46, men's H mile. Generally, Milers Club run right on time, so I'd presume we'll be there or thereabouts. But I'm going to throw down to Tim Crosbie, who will be commentating in venue for you tonight. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast. We will have some presentations, I believe, halfway through of the mile. But that's enough for me now. We'll tune into In Venue. Enjoy the broadcast.
Ned Skinner from Sandringham is in 5. Harry Lynn from Williamstown in 6. In 7 we have Lenny Gray. In 9 Dane Fox. Andre Fowler is in 10. Zane Gray is in 11. And that is our field for the men's Open O800 metres. 6. Harry, Lenny Gray.
Are you ready for the first race?
6. 11. 7. Lenny Gray. Harry Lynn. 9. So 6:30 and we're away. Milers Club meet number 4. So it's our men's O800 metres. So Hewitson in the Yarra Rangers uniform, surging a little bit forward. Usually the kids dart off on him. But this time Craig's just setting a little bit of pace out front and the kids are following. Next one up would be the Ringwood runner and Jack Field. We're seeing Fowler in the Keilor Littles uniform just starting to make his way through. Also, we've got the 2 Lynn twins from the Williamstown. That's Harry and also James. The Craig Hewitson certainly setting a good pace there, but Jack Field now deciding he's going to take a little bit of pace. Slight breeze in the home straight that they'll come through now. Fowler's gone wide. Lynn just tucking in behind. So we should be seeing them come through, I don't know, around the 72-second mark. 70 seconds. And Fowler leads. Jack Field next. Harry Lynn in next position. Then we've got Hewitson. Ned Skinner in the Sandringham colours. Then it's Harry Lynn. But out front, Andre Fowler. He's got a seed time of 2:40. And he's well and truly ahead of that at the moment. So strong running out front. And there's Andre Fowler. Looking very impressive. So strong into the home straight here. Jackfield in next position. Then good run there from Ned Skinner from Sandringham. He's coming through the field into third position now. Lynn next, then Hewison's batting on very well. But Andre Fowler in the Keilor Little's uniform, he'll take it. 2:22 unofficial. So some big runs from the young guys here. Hewison's battling on nicely here. Lynn's just in front of him, 2:29, 2:30. The next of the Lynn twins. And then we have the Essendon runner there in Jardine. Next through was Lenny Gray. I think that was Zane Gray in next position. So some great running there. That's setting the scene here for Milers Club number 4. Oh, is he? Is it, do you pronounce it foul or is it, or full?
I'll find out actually.
Yeah, it'd be nice to know.
I think it's the first.
Foul? Yeah.
I'll find out.
Yeah.
I think they're Spanish. I'll find it.
Right. Right. Oh, they should be on in a minute. Did you see he touched me then? 40, he's manhandling
I'm a
me.
witness.
One, two, three, four, five.
So we've got to bring in?
Yeah.
Not bring
Yeah, Pacer, Ranveer. Yeah.
Remember, gentlemen, you've got to stay in your lane until you pass the yellow blocks at the start of the next
Yep,
race.
got it. So underway now, we do have a pacer. So Ranveer Gurjar is in the outer lanes. What's his pace he's going at, do you know?
69.
So aiming at 69 seconds for the first lap, so they're going for the sub 220. So last race was won in about 222, 223, and we're seeing the pacemaker now has got to slow it down. Just slow it down, Ranveer. So next one up there, Assanage from Essendon. Then we have 4A, McKenna. Little gap back to the Wellington runner there in Woodhouse. Now we have the other one of the Essendon runners coming through there, that's Carroll. But the pacemaker's way too far in front. 4A trying to make the move up to the pacemaker. So they're looking at a 69, so it's bolted a little bit here. So way too quick. So 4A leading the way. McKinnon next position. Aslanage. Then Carroll in next position. Woodhouse starting to move his way through. He's now been joined by Morgan from Diamond Valley. But at the front, it is 4A looking very strong. He's got a 2:28 seed time, but I think he's going to be well under that. The two Essendon runners running well in 3 and 4. Morgan in next position. Gap back then to Mayhew Sharp from the Mornington Uniforms. And then we're done. But have a look at this for a run out front in our men's N800. Coming in for 2:28. It's Isaac 4A. Time check now, 1:55. This is a massive run. So McKinnon in next position. Now two boys from Essendon going really well. Aslanage leading, just ahead of Carroll. But let's get behind him. 4A, this is a massive run. It's going to be sub 2:10. So 2:09 thereabouts. McKinnon, big run here from Jasper. He's coming in for 2:23. And look at that, at 2:15. Aslanage in next position, 2:16. So quite a few under the 2:20 mark. Good run there also from Woodhouse. Then Morgan, Mayhew Sharp and Rajan. I reckon we sacked the pacemaker already. That was terrible. He nearly killed a few of the kids. Ranveer. Georgie's pacing at?
70.
Georgina Mees from Ballarat YCW, she's looking at about a 76. So she'll just get the girls settled, and this is nice pacing, just running to the side of them. Looks like Donaldson's going with her. On the inside there, that is Mackenzie. And now we're seeing the Essendon runner there, Jaya Singer, just moving through beautifully on the infield, on the inside. So Georgina Mees got them pacing nicely at the moment. They're all lined up behind her. Donaldson now slipping it into third position. Mackenzie next. Then I believe that might be Sacco, I think. And the other Essendon runner there, Harriet Gray. So 76, what they're looking for. So checking onto the 60-second mark now, so they will be ahead of that. So Jaya Singer going well, Donaldson to the inside, Mackenzie to the outside. Bignall in next position, then Gray, Sacco. Then we have Farfaglia. The Glen Huntley runner there, then Lindsay in next position, and Sheridan next. So into the back straight, Sana Jayasinger, Gracie McKenzie. Then it is Poppy Donaldson, Louis Bignall, Harriet Gray next, a little bit a gap then to Georgie Lindsay. She has Sacco and also Paglia next to her. But up the top end, Sana Jayasinger, still moving nicely. Around the water jump the last time. And she'll be straightening up to come into the home straight. So 2:07 at the moment. So Jayasinger's got a best of 2:40. It's going to be well and truly under that as she comes into the home straight now. So let's get behind Sana Jayasinger, a local athletics Essendon athlete. So Jayasinger, Mackenzie's coming home strong though. This is going to be a good finish between the two of them. Time check 2:29, 2:30, but great running Jayasinger and Mackenzie. Bignall will be through next, then Donaldson. Harriet Gray through, Lindsay, Sacco and Farfaglia. I'll give that to Farfaglia. And Alana Sheridan, she's coming through. She's got a best of 2:50. She's going to be right on that mark. And that concludes the women's J 800 metres. Local athletics Essendon athlete. Jayasinger, Mackenzie's coming home strong though. This is going to be a good finish between the two of them. Time check 2:29, 2:30, but great running Jayasinger and Mackenzie. Bignall will be through next, then Donaldson. Harriet Gray. Yep. The M field, Darcy Parker from Essendon. He'll be lining up in station 7. So pacemaker Ranbir, he'll be looking to 67, 68 in this event. Top seeds are around the 2:18 mark. And it is our young Doncaster runner there, Joel Denny. He's setting the pace. We'll just see the pacemaker now sliding his way forward. Here's the Chiro, the Mentone runner, also up there. Then Ward from Ballarat YCW. So the pacemaker now going through the 200, settling the boys down. So Gurja leads them. Oh, he's at Di Chiero up there, the Doncaster runner in Denny. Also moving along nicely. Kayla McCauley to the outside. Ward on the inside. Also Rowbottom from Essendon. So 64, 65. They are moving nicely. Nikovsky's going strongly. Just gone past Parker. William Short currently at the rear of the field, but Pisa de Chiero leads the way in the Mentone strip. The Doncaster runner there, Denny in next position, then Rowbottom. McCauley and Ward working well. Then we have Nikovsky, Parker. Gap then to Lindemann. Then another gap back to Gunarlin, and Short now starting to take in some of the break there. So Pisa Chiero, he's got a 2:20 seed time, so they're well and truly ahead of that at the moment. We're seeing a strong run from Joel Denny, so working well around the bend. Ward also now kicking away from Rowbottom. McCauley, Nikovsky going nicely, and then Parker. But out front, Pisa de Chiero, and I think he's about to be challenged. The battle's on here, 2:07 on the clock. They're going to be well under their PBs. So it is Alex Pisa de Chiero, 2:13. Then Denny, Ward in next position, Rowbottom, McCauley, Nikovsky, 2:19. So quite a few under the 2:20. Lindemann in next, Gunarlin and Short.
Next one, event 5, full field of 10.
Men's barrel, 800 metres, the full field.
10, Hugo Stubbs from Old Scotch in 1. From Glen Huntly, Daniel Ball in 2. From Melbourne University, Dustin Bianaki in 3. Tom Vulcan takes station 4. From Glen Huntly, Oscar Gray takes station 5. Max Ibeck from Keolis and Burners in 6. Jai Lamley from Western Athletics in 7. Then we have Freddie Barrett Judd from Sandringham in 8. Henry Kerr-Lewis from Box Hill in 9. And from Essendon, Lucas Harris, station 10. So the pacer looks like Paddy Matthews, looking for a 66. So a very rapid start for this one. Just finding a few of the boys just trying to sort themselves out in the double lanes. 10 in the field. As we see our pacemaker just going around the outside now. But on the inside, it's Hugo Stubbs moving beautifully. Oh, can I have the one with numbers on it, please? Yep, thank you.
Sorry. My fault.
So at 200 metres, and Patrick Matthews from Keolis and Bernards running in the Athletics ACT uniform. He takes the lead as our pacemaker. Stubbs in next position. We then have Henry Kerr-Lewis coming through in the Box Hill kit. First of our Glen Huntly runners there, that is Daniel Ball. As Matthews just looks around, so it's going to be a fairly rapid opening lap here, so just ticking on 60 now. So 63, 64, so good pacing. The Melbourne University runner up there is Dustin Bianaki. So our Glen Huntly runner, going nicely. The pace is still in there, just trying to work them forward. Seeing a bit of a move there from the Jai Lambley, the Western Athletics runner. But it's our Glen Huntly runner Unfortunately, I'm taking a guess here. I'm not on the right side to see the hip numbers. I'm taking a guess that it's Daniel Ball. Or it could be Oscar Gray. But out front, though, it is now Bianaki. So the Melbourne University runner staged that beautifully. So Bianaki, he's got a best of 2:14.7. We're on 2:03 at the moment, so they're dropping like flies now out there. Tom Volkin's one to watch. He's a 2:14 runner, but Bianaki, I think, might hold on. It's going to be just under the PB, 2:12, 2:13. Also coming through there, Lucas Harris, and then from KSB, Max Ivic, good run from him. But it was Dustin Bianaki from Melbourne University in approximately 2:12 in the men's L 800 metres.
Did you get those numbers?
One to watch. He's a 2:14 runner, but Bianaki, I think, might hold on. It's going to be just under the PB, 2:12, 2:13. Also coming through there, Lucas Harris, and then from KSB, Max Ivic. Women's I 800 metres. From Dandenong Swingvale, we have Sarah Piga Sujendran in 1. Thea Pratley from Box Hill in 2. From Athletics, Essendon, Rebecca Perilli in 3. Wellington Athletics, Matilda Farley is in 4. From Western Athletics, Isabella Keogh in 5. Courtney Ryan is in 6. From Athletics, Essendon, Rosa Barbanti in 7. And in 9, from Wellington Athletics, Charlotte Cunningham. So once again, Georgina Mees is surging out there. She's taking Charlotte Cunningham with her. To the inside of them is Rosa Barbanti. Georgina just drifting across now, and on the inner lanes there, I think that's Rebecca Perilli striding out beautifully. So Cunningham to the outside of her. And then we've got Pratley from Box Hill in next position. And then Barbanti. Next of our Wellington runners there is Farley. But Georgina Mees going along nicely at the moment. Rebecca Perilli going with her. PB's here around the 2:36 through to 2:38 mark. So Georgina probably just putting the foot down a little bit too much. As we're seeing contact just being lost. But now we see the Essendon runner. She's surging forward here. And that is Perilli, I believe. So Perilli leads. Cunningham next. Then we have Barbanti. Pratley on the inside. A little bit of a drop back to Western Athletics Keogh. Sujendran is with her. And then a drop back also to Courtney Ryan. But out front, it's all Rebecca Perilli. 2:37.86 is her best. I think we'll see a big PB for her tonight. So into the home straight now. Her Essendon teammate there. And that is Barbanti in next position. Now we're seeing Pratley starting to move forward on the back straight. So Perilli, Pratley, Barbanti, Farley, Cunningham, then Keogh in that order. So Perilli's been brave early, but we're seeing Thea Pratley from Box Hill really moving it over this final stages, striding out beautifully. So Pratley takes the lead. She's a 2:37 runner. 2:16 as they come down into the home straight. So we're going to see a big run here from Thea Prattley. The two Essendon runners coming together. Barbanti just alongside Perilli. But check the time here. We're going to get her under 2:30. Great running, Prattley. Barbanti will come through next. 2:33 for her. 2:34 thereabouts for Perilli. Brave running. Then we have Farley, Cunningham, Keogh, Sujendran, and also Ryan. Seven runner, 2:16 as they come down into the home straight. So we're going to see a big run here from Thea Prattley. The two Essendon runners coming together. Barbanti just alongside Perilli. But check the time here. We're going to get her under 2:30. Great running, Prattley. Barbanti will come through next. 2:33 for her. 2:34. And we have 9 starters. Riley Sullivan is in 1. Connor Sullivan from Old Scotch is in 2. In 3, Isaac Sontag from Williamstown. In 5, we have Thomas Hughes. In 6, from Glen Huntly, George Fowler. In 7, Thomas Lindeman from Old Scotch. In 8, Hunter Stevens from Mornington Peninsula. In 9, from Doncaster, Zachary Norton. In 10, it's Levi Hines from Ballot YCW, and Ranveer Gurja will be doing the pace. And we're on time anyway.
On your marks.
So field of 9 plus pacer. Stevens from Mornington Peninsula. Out early. So we'll wait for a pacer to come around the side from the outer lanes. But on the inside, Riley Sullivan also going well. So this is a 2:12, 2:13 race. So Sullivan leading. Isaac Sontag also up there early. And we're seeing Thomas Hughes starting to make his way through in the blue shirt. On the inside of him, it is the Glen Huntly runner there in Fowler. A little bit of a break. Zach Norton at the back of that lead pack. And the pacer goes to the side here. So we should be expecting around that 61, 62, I reckon they're going to go through here. So 60, 61, so about 62, 63. Good pack of 5 out front. Sullivan on the inside. You got the rear there, George Fowler from Glen Huntly. He's been joined by Norton. The Williamstown runner there is Sontag and also Hughes. Gap then to the taller of the Old Scotch runners there is Connor Sullivan. He's got his teammate Thomas Lindeman just behind, then Stevens, and also from YCW is Levi Hines. But out front, Thomas Hughes now makes the big move. Norton decides to go with him. Sullivan in next position. I can just sense Sontag wanted to go. He hasn't, but it is the taller figure there of Connor Sullivan decides he's going to have a go. But out front, Hughes looking strong, winding it up. Norton trying hard to keep in touch, but Hughes just looking so strong into this last bit. So 1:57 on the clock. This is going to be much quicker than the 2:12. Going to be around that 2:4, 2:5 potentially. So Hughes will take it. Big run from him. 2:6 thereabouts. Great run from Norton. He'll be under the 2:10 mark. Sullivan not far off. Then Lindemann. Sontag in next position. Good finish there from Stevens and Sullivan. And Hines rounding out the field there in the men's K 800 metres. Into this last bit. So 1:57 on the clock. This is going to be much quicker than the 2:12. Going to be around that 2:4, 2:5 potentially. So Hughes will take it. Big run from him. 2:6 thereabouts. Great run from Norton. He'll be under the 2:10 mark. Sullivan not far off. Then Lindemann. Sontag.
Next event, men's J 800 metres, and we have 7 starters.
Glenn Huntley in 2. Josh Lewin from St Kevin's in 3, and Mal Benapale from South Melbourne in 4. Jet Schofield Wellington is in 5. From Box Hill, Scott Benedict in 6, and from Mentone, James Pisa de Chiero in 8. So pacemaker, Paddy Matthews in this one as well. So Benapale off to a quick start there in the South Melbourne uniform. On the inside there, Sue Junior also moving nicely. Going with the pacemaker at the moment is the Mentone runner there in Pisa de Chiero, but it is Sue Junior and Benapale, also the Glenn Huntley runner there in Hilkema. So the pacemaker now doing a beautiful job, moving to the front at 200. Sue Junior with him. Hilgema next, then Benapale, Pisa Chiaro. Then we have Benedict, Lewin, and also Schofield. So Paddy Matthews in the Milers Club pacer kit now, taking Sujendran with him. Hilgema looking good at the moment. Benedict to the outside, just lurking and moving forward. So Scott Benefit now moving into the race lead. So 60, 61, 62 as they go through. So they've set this up nicely. We see Schofield now coming through. Benapale now going past the early leader in Sujendran. But out front it is Benedict, Pisa de Chiero. Then we have Hilkema. So well spread here, and it's Schofield the one making a lot of the moves. So Sujendran starts to drift back. Lewin starting to get his sights on Sujendran, but out front Benedict. So Scott Benedict from Box Hill leads. James Pisa Chiero, then Kane Hilkema. Benapale about to be by Schofield. Gap then to Sujendran and Lewin. But into the home straight now. He made a good move at this point last lap. Scott Benedict, time check now, right on the 2-minute mark. It's going to be well under the 2:10. So Benedict will take this. Time check, it'll be around the 2:06, 2:07. Then the Pisa de Chiero, Hilkema, Schofield. Benapale in next position, Sujendran and Lewin. But into the home straight now. He made a good move at this point last lap. Scott Benedict, time check now, right on the 2-minute mark. It's going to be well under the 2:10. So Benedict will take this. Time check, it'll be around the 2:06, 2:07. Then the Pisa de Chiero, Hilkema, Schofield. In the women's H 800 metres, Willow Devine from Mentone is in 1. Georgina Mervyn, Ballerine, in 2. From Sandringham, Ceci Clissold is in 3. From Essendon, it's Vanessa D'Andrea in 5. From Ballarat YCW, Aria Violini in 6. Freya Mivan lines up in station 7. Christina Nikovsky from Yarra Rangers is in 8. And our pacemaker, Georgina Mees. 73 the pace. So nice start from D'Andrea. Violini, the young lady from YCW, just to the outside of her, and on the inside, Devine going very nicely in the Mentone uniform. So Mees will start to drift across. Mivan out there also in the blue shirt. And it's a line across as D'Andrea just forces her way forward, but Mivan just gets in front there and will sit right behind the pacemaker. And that is Mees. So Devine now sitting in 4th position. Nikovsky next, Violini, Mervyn and Clissold. So 73 is the goal pace through 400. Maybe just a slightly ahead of schedule as they come into the home straight. So Mees just edging out to the outer lanes, leaving Mivan in front. D'Andrea. Devine in next position, Nikovsky running strongly. Mervyn, one of the Masters athletes, looking very strong. Violini and Clissold, two of the younger runners going through nicely. So the final runner there in 74. So all of these girls are on the sub 230 pace. And this is a 232 through to a 235 pace or race. And as we see Vanessa D'Andrea from the local Essendon club now leading her way 300 metres there. Mervyn now making a big move as well in the ballerine uniform. And we're seeing those youngsters just bunching up towards the back of the field. As Clissold starts to move through, Violini going with her. So out front, Vanessa D'Andrea, she's got a 2:32 time. Georgina Mervyn, she's a 2:44 runner. We saw a part of that wonderful ballerine 4x800 women's relay team for the over 40s at the country champs. But Vanessa D'Andrea leads the way. She's out by about 10 metres over Mervyn. Clissold's had a very big run. She's now moving herself into 3rd position ahead of Mivan and starting to look what's happening out front. But Vanessa D'Andrea, she'll be looking down the stretch here, watching the clock. 2:20 on the mark now, so she'll be well under the 2:30 mark. So Vanessa D'Andrea will take it. Big run from Clissold. She's paced that beautifully. She'll be right on the 2:30 mark. Mervyn just over. Then we have Violini and Miffin. Devine, Nikovsky. But great racing there. All of them running around the PB mark.
Second girl was number 3.
Thank you, sir. Starting to look what's happening out front with Vanessa D'Andrea. She'll be looking down the stretch here, watching the clock. 2:20 on the mark now, so she'll be well under the 2:30 mark. So Vanessa D'Andrea will take it. Big run from Clissold. She's paced that beautifully. She'll be right on the 2:30 mark. Mervyn just over. Then we have Violet.
Just a reminder of the campaign in motion here at the Moonee Valley Athletics Track. Pop into the main pavilion if you want to grab something to eat or drink. The barbecue should be going as well. That's what it's to put on barbecue. As the sun starts to drop here and the air gets a little bit cooler, barbecue will be coming very nice. Also remember, jump that fence, pop into the action on the option hand. Check out their range of shoes. Also got the beanbags out there as well. If you want the most comfortable seat here at the Moonee Valley Athletics Centre, jump on those beanbags. They're there for a reason. Next event, on the track, the high-end
800 metres, we've got 8 starters. Oscar Lichter from Athletics Essendon is in 1. From Melbourne Uni, Jerry Ing is in 2. Frith Cohen is in 3. Riley Stewart from Wellington's in 5. From Box Hill, Andre Maladay is in 6. Ethan Miller from Glen Huntly in 7. From Essendon, Sam Meehan in 9. And Jana Jayalaf is in 10. So no pacemakers in this one. Good start on the inside there for the Melbourne University runner there in Eng. Taking with him is Frith Cohen. So striding nicely down the back straight. Cohen just having a look at the watch, checking through the 100-metre split. To the outside there, Ethan Miller starting to move across beautifully. First of the Essendon runners there, that's Meehan. Apologies, I think that's Lichter. But out front, it is Frith Cohen leading beautifully. So Cohen, Miller, Eng. The Wellington runner there is Stewart. Our Essendon runners side by side now. So that's Meehan and also Lichter. And from Box Hill we've got Maladar. So out front, Frith Cohen, he's a 2:08 man. Let's have a look at that time check. And it's going to be right on the 1 minute mark. So 60, 61 as they went through. So Cohen, Miller, big sprint there. So Ethan Miller from Glen Huntly takes the lead. Eng's gone with him. Riley Stewart trying to make the move past Cohen. Jylef's trying to go with him as well. Meehan, Lichter and Maladay in that order. So out front, another change in lead. So Jerry Eng bided his time beautifully. Can Miller go with him? That rubber band's just stretching slowly as Jerry Eng comes into the home straight. 1:50 on the clock. So he's a 2:08 runner. Once again, and we've had another change of lead. So Miller, he's got a few extra gears, and Ethan Miller, he's got a 2:08.50. He's going to be well and truly under that. So Ethan Miller, 2:04 thereabouts. Then Eng, Stewart, Lichter, Jylaf, Meehan, Maladay, and Cohen in that order. And that's the men's I-800. .150 on the clock. So he's a 2:08 runner. Once again, and we've had another change of lead. So Miller, he's got a few extra gears, and Ethan Miller, he's got a 2:08.50. He's going to be well and truly under that. So Ethan Miller, 2:04 thereabouts. Then Eng, Stewart, Lichter, Jylaf. Now the men's H800 metres. Then we have 8 starters. Finn Johnson from Melbournians in 1. Max Donoghue from Wellington in 2. James McNary from Waverley is in 3. From Doncaster, Aidan Marasco is in 4. Jed Gibney from Williamstown's in 5. In 7, from Western Athletics, it's Matthew Massara. Ethan Bloss from KSB is in 8. Also from KSB, Luke Matthews in 9. And our pacemaker, Patrick Matthews. So we're looking around that 59.60. This is a 2:06, 2:07 race. So that'll be setting them up for the low 2 minutes. As we see, I think that is Bloss, or potentially Matthews from KSB, and the other Matthews from KSB now taking his role as the pacemaker. On the inside there, it's Donoghue from Wellington, moving nicely at the moment. The old Melburnians runner there, Finn Johnson, he's on the inside rail, just being bumped back a little bit. Marasco from Doncaster quite content to sit at the lead of or the back of the field here because the pace is relatively good. So to the outside, it is the old Melburnians, Finn Johnson taking the wide line. Patrick Matthews leading it nicely at the moment. Donahue from Wellington up there. Also Ethan Bloss. Now McInerney, former Victorian 800 metre champion. He loves this distance. Great to still have James out racing. He's making the move down the outside. So Matthews has got it. Now we've got the master in the field, James McInerney. Look at that form. So Donahue's just got to go with McInerney here. Gap then to Bloss. Then another gap to Luke Matthews. As we see the Williamstown runner there in Gibney starting to move his way through. But James McInerney leads it through the 600. Donahue looking strong. Nice gap then back to Bloss. Gibney starting to make his way through with Marasco. But out front, James McInerney leads it. So McInerney, Donahue. Just on the 149, 150 mark now. So it's going to be a sub 210, well and truly. And a good run from Donahue. McInerney's trying hard to stick with him, but Max Donahue looking strong. Big finish from Marasco. As I said, he looked good at the rear of the field, but 2:04 there. Good run from Marasco, as I said. McInerney, Gibney, then Bloss, Matthews. Also from Western A's there, Massara and Johnson. Going to be a sub 210, well and truly, and a good run from Donahue. McInerney's trying hard to stick with him, but Max Donahue looking strong. Big finish from Marasco. As I said, he looked good at the rear of the field, but 2:04 there. Good run from Marasco, as I said. McInerney, Gibney, then Bloss, Matthews. Also. $100 for the winners of the A800s. Then we go in reverse order, which means we go still around the same way around the track, but we go fastest back to slowest in the mile races. Let's introduce the field. The women's G800. Isabella Jordan from Geelong Guild is in 1. Ruby Callahan from Collingwood in 2. Audrey Savage from Essendon in 3. Lainey Scott is in 4. In 6, Kyla Swallow from Mornington. Claudia Tierney from St Kevin's in 7. Keely Williams Wyndham in 8. And from Glen Huntley, Ruby Donaldson in 9. So field of 8, all lanes full here, and in those middle lanes there, it looks like the moves are coming from Lainey Scott. Swallow also up early. Jordan moving nicely in lane 1, and just the outside of her, Callahan from Collingwood. So Lainey Scott leading the way, 2:28 first seed time. This is a 2:27 through to 2:30 race, and that's why they're so bunched at the moment as they go through 200. So Callahan on the rail, Swallow to the outside of her. St Kevin's runner there, that is Tierney. Savage right in the middle. The Wyndham athlete, and that's Williams just behind Audrey Savage. Little gap then to Jordan, and then Donaldson in next position. To the outside, Tierney looking good. Lainey Scott still leading the way. Swallow on her shoulder. So 2:28 is sort of the top seed times here. And they're going to be going through probably around the 70, 71 second mark. Yeah, so 71 through the bell. Swallow up there. Callahan looking good. Savage holding on to that lead group. Tierney just in front of her. Gap then to Williams and also Jordan. But Scott's led all the way. Swallow content to sit there for the moment. Now we're seeing Tierney trying to battle back through. Savage going nicely. Jordan now starting to make her move. But out front, Swallow on the outside of Scott. So doing the extra yardage out there. Savage now going past Tierney. Good battle out front. Race of three. Callahan in a good position, but Swallow starts to explode out. So Swallow, Callahan, Scott, Savage going nicely. Tierney about to be joined by Jordan and also Williams, and a gap to Donaldson. But out the side now, it's now Callahan. So how will Swallow handle this? Callahan goes to the outside. Surges into that last 100. So Callahan is a 2:28 runner, and this is going to be well under that. We could see her under the 2:20 mark here. Just over, I'd say. So we're ticking on 2:18, but Ruby Callahan, what a run. So big run from Callahan. Nice running also from Swallow. Savage, a good run from her, well judged. Then we have our early leader in Scott, Tierney, Williams, then Donaldson and Jordan. Runner, and this is going to be well under that. We could see her under the 2:20 mark here. Just over, I'd say. So we're ticking on 2:18, but Ruby Callahan, what a run. So big run from Callahan. Nice running also from Swallow. Savage, a good run from her, well judged. Then we have our early leader in Scott, Tierney, Williams, then on Results Hub. So the photo finish team working away feverishly, getting those results posting through to Results Hub as soon as possible. Of 10 place plus the pacemaker. The men's G800. Sam Lindsay from Glen Huntley in 1. Geordie Walsh is in 2. From Melbourne Uni, Jordan Michelle in 3. From Collingwood Harriers, Joshua Daly is in 4. Athletics Essendon's Jesse Lumby is in 5. From Athletics Nunawading, Oscar Wright is in 6. Christian Knox from Athletics Essendon in 7. Craig Pilkington, Melbourne University is in 8. Liam Stocky, Old Severians in 9. And from Deakin, Oliver Bradshaw in 10. So some early movers here. Geordie Walsh being one of those. To the inside of him, it's the Old Severians runner there in Stocky. And then it looks like one of the Melbourne Unity boys. I think that might be Pilkington in the outer lanes coming through. So also up there, Oscar Wright from Nunawading, as we see our pacemaker chasing the leader. So Paddy's got a bit of work to do here. Wedged in between 1 and 3. The Collingwood runner going nicely, Joshua Daly. So this is a 2:04, 2:05 race. So I'd expect they're going to go through and around the 58 mark, but our infield clock's not working unfortunately. So we'll wait for the manual call on this one as they come through. And it is Pilkington leading the way. What was the lead time there? 57? So around the 58, 59 mark, Pilkington's still leading, right. Then we have Daly. The Essendon runner there is Lumby starting to move through. Gap then to Walsh. Then we have Bradshaw. Then the next of our Melbourne Uni runners there, and that is Michelle. But out front, Pilkington and Wright. You like what I'm seeing from Lumbee here. He's moving his way beautifully, but I think we're going to see Wright charging forward now. He'll come onto the shoulder of Pilkington. Few moves coming from behind as well. Lumbee, I'm not sure if he's got enough to run over the top here. Daly's still in it, but out front it's Wright and Pilkington. Wright's taken the lead. So Wright's a 2:05 runner. Haven't got the infield clock, unfortunately. Lumbee's battling on strongly, but Wright will take it. Pilkington, Lumbee. Then we have Daly. Walsh to the outside, then Bradshaw. Michelle through next, then Lindsay, then Knox, and rounding out with Stocky from Old Severians. That's the men's G 800. Daly's still in it, but out front it's Wright and Pilkington. Wright's taken the lead. So Wright's a 2:05 runner. Haven't got the infield clock, unfortunately. Lumbee's battling on strongly, but Wright will take it. Pilkington, Lumbee. Then we have Daly. Walsh to the outside, then... Time for that one, 2:01, so big run there for Wright, gone from a 2:05 to 2:01. Indicates the conditions are good tonight. So lots of PBs being set already here, so setting up for a very exciting program as we hit the A races shortly. In the Milers Club, ticking along nicely. We're actually slightly ahead of program, so we're just going to hold the girls. We don't want to get too far ahead of schedule. Next up is the women's F 800 metres. We've got 9 starters. Jamie Lee Cobain from Essendon is in 1. Shania Murray, Diamond Valley, in 2. Bridget Williams, Glenn Huntley is in 3. Chloe Lynette from Ringwood is in 4. Natasha Gertler from Collingwood is in 5. Alicia Reid from Wellington in 6. Charlotte Jackson, Essendon in 7. From Eureka, Courtney Parker in 8. From Athletics, Essendon, Jamison Towers in 9. So no paces, but it's a pretty good field here. And we're seeing Lynette from Ringwood, one of the early boulders here. So with the long socks on, Chloe Lynette going along nicely. Gertler trying to go with her. To the outside of her is Reid. On the inside there we've got Cobain and also Murray. But out front, the long striding Chloe Lynette looking very good. Parker making her way through. Now it is Murray starting to make some moves. Charlotte Jackson also moving nicely. So Towers at the back of the field. She's the heptathlete. So yet again we're seeing Jamison Towers here having a really good hit out in a competitive 800 metres. As we see out front, Lynette and Gertler leading the way. Murray starting to make her way through the midfield. Good run from Towers. She's coming around the outside. So Shania Murray about to challenge Lynette, the early leader. So lots of strength there. The silver medalist at the Victorian 15k champs at Lake Wendouree stepping down to the 8. So Murray leads, Lynette, Gertler. Next one up is Charlotte Jackson. Now we're seeing Parker making her way through. But out front, Shania Murray, Gertler. Jackson's the one to watch here, starting to get a real move on around that bend. So Murray's the 300 metres out. Parker sitting midfield at the moment. Towers just battling at the back of the field there at the moment, and that's with Williams. But out front, Murray, Gertler, Jackson, Lynette, Parker, then Reid. Cobain to the outside of her. Then Williams and Towers now starting to move through. So gritting her teeth and really going for it now, Shania Murray, but Charlotte Jackson's the one to watch. She's a 2:26 runner, and she's really starting to get the stride happen around the top bend. But Murray, not to be outdone, surges again. As I said, 15-kilometre silver medalist in the Victorian Championship. She's got distance in those legs, and Shania Murray surging away now in this F800 metres. So Murray coming in for seed time of 2:26. We're sitting on about the 2:17 mark. Could be close to a PB tonight for Shania Murray. So 2:20 thereabouts. Great run from Jackson. Lynette's back into it. Gertler, Parker, Cobain, Reed, Williams and Towers in 2:30. Good run for a heptathlete. We're sitting on about the 2:17 mark. Could be close to a PB tonight for Shania Murray. So 2:20 thereabouts. Great run from Jackson. Lynette's back into it. Gertler, Parker, Cobain, Reed, Williams and Towers in 2:30. Good run for a heptathlete. It's great for a hep.
We're going to the stage to jump the fence, coming down near the on and the base. You want to go out on track and you get close now with your family, your people, your coach, your friends, coming out on track.
The 2:02 to 2:04 race. Let's see if we can get our first sub-2s here this evening. Saw a 2:01 earlier, so the pressure's on these guys to go quicker. Riley Walsh from the Athletics Essendon Club, he lines up in 1. From Western Athletics, Jackson Wright is in 2. Saw him have a good win at the last mile as Mark Stodden from Richmond Harriers is in 3. Rory Vile from Old Scotch is in 5. Nathaniel Ueka from Doncaster is in 6. Brady Ryan from Glen Huntley is in 7. Emila Jayalaf is in 8. And Oliver Evans from Old Zavarians in 9. And it looks like Brad Hall pacing 58 target time. And the starter brings them out. We'll wait for the starter's instructions. Potentially unsteady. Yep. Our starter, Bob Hallett, doing the rocking and rolling on the starter's stand there, indicating unsteady. So full field will line up once again, the men's F800. A nervous bunch, this one. They know they're going for the sub-2, so Bob will get them calmed down, ready to go. Settle it, guys. Now they're off. It's a good field. Brad Hall's pacing. They're going for 58 through the first lap. Let's see if we can get a sub-2. Conditions down here pretty damn good. It's good 800-metre running. As we see Brad Hall settling nicely. Jayalaf going with him. Also up there, Brady Ryan. On the inside there, we're seeing Jackson Wright bullocking through, trying to get position. But also out there is the Old Zavarians runner there in Evans. So Hall leads them through. Ryan with him. Gap then, I think that's Vile in the next position. Jayalaf's up there. Stodden sitting towards the rear of the field, joined by Walsh. So this is good pacing. 50 seconds on the clock as they come down. We're looking at a 58 through. So Brad Hall's getting them through. Ryan leading. Vile in next. 58 right on the mark. Perfect. Setting the boys up. Let's go for that sub-2. The first few can do it. Ueka also making a good move there, the young man from Doncaster. Gap then to Evans. Stodden trying. Jylaf is the next one to go. But out front now it's Vile. So Rory Vile leading the way, striding down that back straight. This is where they've got to go for the sub-2. So Vile. Brady in next position, Ueka. Then we're seeing Jackson Wright come through. Evans in next position, and then Stodden's coming home strong. But out front, Vile's looking strong. Really solid round that top end. Ueka and Wright fighting out for second and third. And now we're seeing Evans come through. So let's get behind Rory Vile. It's 147 as they come through. We might get our first sub-2, and I think it'll be Rory Vile's first sub-2. He's a 202 man. Let's get behind Ueka and Wright as well. Unofficial 157. It's going to be close. I think probably just the wrong side. But gee, that was close. Ueka, also Wright. Big run from him. Evans. Walsh through nicely. Then Stodden, Brady and Jylaf. That's the men's F, 800 metres. It's 147 as they come through. We might get our first sub-2, and I think it'll be Rory Vile's first sub-2. He's a 202 man. Let's get behind Ueka and Wright as well. Unofficial 157. It's going to be close. I think probably just the wrong side. But gee, that was close. Ueka, also Wright. Big run from him. Evan. 800 metres. This is the dash for cash. $100 on the line for the winner of this event. And our field is from Eagle Hawk. We welcome down to the Moonee Valley Track, Scarlett Southern. In 2 from Mentone, Tilly Williams. Brianna Sherry from Casey Gardenia is in 3. Cassie Farley from Wellington in 4. Nissa Miles from Williamstown in 5. Monique Williams from Box Hill is in 6. Alexis Sheed, Essendon in 7. In 8, it's Sarah Hastings from Mentone. And in 9, Eliza LePere from Ballarat YCW. 9 starters, the dash for cash, $100 on the line to our winner. So cleanly away, there's a few natural leaders in this one. Nissa Miles doesn't mind getting out front, neither does Brianna Sherry. So we'll just wait till see how they settle, and it is Miles going hard early. Sherry is chasing her. In the middle of them is the Wellington runner there in Farley. So as they settle, it is, Farley just getting bumped back there by Miles and Sherry. Gee, I can pick them. So it's Miles and Sherry leading the way. Farley. On the outside there is Hastings. So $100, no pacer. They're racing for that 100. So Nissa Miles leads it. Sherry, Hastings, Farley. I think Southern is in next position there, the Eagle Hawk girl, and then the long striding Tilly Williams, tracking along very nicely. So coming into the straight the first time, Nissa Miles from Williamstown leads it. On her shoulder, Brianna Sherry from Casey Gardenia. Gap back to Hastings, Farley on the rails, Williams to the outside, Southern to the inside. The Box Hill runner there is Williams. To the outside of her is Essendon's Sheed, and then LePere. But out front it's Miles and Sherry. They're going stride for stride. Farley's trying to bridge that gap now. But Nissa Miles looking strong. Can Sherry hang on? This is the vital part here as they go round the bend, but it's the pink socks of Nissa Miles just starting to edge away. So Miles, 300 out. She's got about 2 to 3 metres up on Sherry. Gap then to Farley. Williams in next, then Southern. Sheed, Hastings. But out front, 200 to go. Nissa Miles, has she got that $100? She's starting to extend that lead. It's now 5 metres, 10 metres. Farley trying to battle on to Sherry. Williams in next position. Southern finishing strong. Sheed going with her, gone past Williams, but into the home straight. She's a regular here at Milers Club. Nissa Miles, great to see her in those pink socks once again. Is she going to take home the $100? She's probably got the training squad going for her here. It's going to be Nissa Shout at Macca's. Vanessa Males, very strong run. She's all the way. She'll take the dash for cash. Get a check on the time. It's a good time as well. About 2:18 for Nissa. Farley in next position. Then Sherry, Southern, Sheed, Williamson, Lapierre. And Hastings. Again, is she going to take home the $100? She's probably got the training squad going for her here. It's going to be Nissa Shout at Macca's. Vanessa Males, very strong run. She's all the way. She'll take the dash for cash. Get a check on the time. It's a good time as well. About 2:18 for Nissa. Farley in next position. Then Sherry, Southern, Sheed, Williams. $100 metres, and there are, let's make that 8 starters, and they are Jack Ellis from Chilwell, he's in station 1. Charlie Kybird is in 2. From Doncaster, Josh Askar in 3. Harvey Anderson from Knox is in 4. Robert Hopkins from St Kevin's, he takes station 5. Austin Fernando from Sandringham's in 6. Jordan Mason, Eureka in 7, and in 9, Daniel Noden from Bendigo Harriers. Brad Hall pacing once again, and I anticipate probably a 56, 57. So Brad Hall out on the inner lanes. Kybird's off to a good start. He often goes hard early. Alice is trying to go with him. To the outside there, Anderson, stuck midfield. One of the more experienced runners there, Mason, just looking around and thinking, I'm going to sit at the back of the pack here. In front of him will be Fernando from Sandringham. Alice being bounced out to the back of the field now as we see Noden. Ran a 1:59 in, where was it, Doncaster, I think. So Noden striding beautifully at the moment, the Bendigo Harrier. Kybird in next position. The St Kevin's runner there in Hopkins. Then gap to Anderson, Asker, Fernando, Alice and Mayston. So Hall leading through nicely. So Noden's been bumped up a race into this event after a big run last week. Got to prove himself now though. So 1 lap out, they're through in 57. Perfect pacing once again, Brad Hall. So Noden, Hopkins, Anderson looking good. He's alongside Kybird now. And going past him, Asker in the middle, then Fernando, Alice and Mayston. A lot of these guys still in this race. Noden's gone hard early, but are the legs starting to just tire a bit as we see Hopkins bridging that gap and Anderson going with them. So Hopkins takes the lead. Anderson right behind him. Kybird taking a few of the others with him. Asker working nicely alongside Fernando. They're all in it. Alice working hard now with Mayston. But out front is Hopkins and also Anderson. Kybird now slips into 3rd. So Anderson to the outside now, really winding it up. They're 1:42 at the moment, so let's see our first sub-2 here tonight. So Henderson's going nicely. Kybird, big finish from him. Hopkins battles on. Fernando's coming strongly. Noden's really working it. 1:54 now. We're going to get a pile of them too. So 1:57. Fernando, I think, might have taken that. Drop from the clouds over Anderson. Great running Hopkins, also Kybird. So massive run there, the men's E800. Oh. Now really winding it up. They're 1:42 at the moment, so let's see our first sub-2 here tonight. So Henderson's going nicely. Kybird, big finish from him. Hopkins battles on. Fernando's coming strongly. Noden's really working it. 1:54 now. We're going to get a pile of them too. So 1:57, Fernando. women's D 800 metres. We've got a full field of 9 in station 1 from Glen Huntly, Charlotte Gibbs. In 2 from Doncaster, Sonna Backer. Annabelle Smith from Box Hill is in 3. Ada Hill, Wellington, is in 4. Thania Vijay Kumar from Glen Huntly in 5. Emily Mifsud from Essendon in 6. From Wellington, Maddie Boyd's in 7. Box Hills, Aranika Wali in 8. And from Essendon, Madigan Carroll in 9. So no paces once again, so they're racing. This is the women's D 800. Seed times anywhere between the 2:21 and 2:23, so tightly bunched. A lot of experienced runners out there, and Vijay Kumar is the one who's leading the way. Just to the inside of her is Ada Hill. The other Wellington runner out there, that's Maddie Boyd. To the outside though, it's Madigan Carroll, the hometown girl from Essendon. She slipped into 3rd, just ahead of Boyd. And that looks like Wali from Box Hill moving very nicely through the midfield. Mifsud just to the outside of her. Then we've got Smith from Box Hill, back up, and Gibbs in that order. So a Glen Huntly sandwich out here with Vijay Kumar leading the way. Gibbs at the rear of the field. And we're seeing Hill just tracking Vijay Akuma through. 64 seconds. This is swift. So Vijay Akuma is a 2:20 runner, but boy, all of them. I think the bottom time going through was about 71. So these girls are really flying out there. So Vijay Akuma, will she suffer from that early pace? As we see Emily Mifsud had a great season this year, and we're seeing Mifsud just grinding away here nicely. So she's about to get onto the back of Hill. She'll be starting to look at Vijay Akuma as well. But Vijay Akuma still leads it. So Mifsud, she's driving hard. Gap back then to Carroll. Also, it's Boyd to the outside of her and Wali. But out front, Vijay Akuma still leads it. She's gone from the gun. 64 through the first lap, rapid pace. And Vijay Akuma still got it as they come through. I thought Mifsud might come through, but it looks like it's the next pack with Wali. And also Boyd, they're really bearing down strongly. Mifsud goes again though. Vijay Akuma leading the way, 2:12. This is awesome running. Vijay Akuma, what a run that is, 2:17. Mifsud through, lots of sub 2:20s, I love that. Carroll, also Gibbs. So rounding out that in about a 2:24. What a race that was. Thania Vijay Akuma, massive run. Also ripper there from Mifsud. Big run from the Wellington girls as well. Hill, also Boyd. Thought Mifsud might come through, but it looks like it's the next pack with Wali. And also Boyd, they're really bearing down strongly. Mifsud goes again though. Vijay Akuma leading the way, 2:12. This is awesome running. Vijay Akuma, what a run that is, 2:17. Mifsud through, lots of sub. Alex Essendon is in station 1. Ryan Gillespie is in 2. Benjamin Purser, Doncaster, is in 3. From Moonee Peninsula, Sebastian Farrelly is in station 4. From Doncaster, Lachlan Marasco in 5. Daniel Cheever Lynch takes station 6. Kirk Shanahan, Western Afs, is in 7. Caden Murray, Diamond Valley in 8. And from Bendigo Uni, Nathan Crowley in 9. So pretty experienced field this one, some good runners. It's a 1:58 to 2 minute type race. I wouldn't be surprised if we can get the majority of this field under the 2 minute mark. We see the experienced Crowley at the back just going alongside Murray, moving beautifully. But out front, Cheever Lynch is the one who takes the lead there from Gillespie. So Daniel Cheever Lynch leads it. Gillespie, they're starting to settle in now. The pace just going off slightly, which is probably not a bad thing. The Essendon runner there in Ernst being just bumped back a little bit. Crowley moving nicely. And the Mornington runner there, Farrelly, settling nicely at the rear of the field. The pace is on quite nicely here. And Cheever Lynch leading the way from Gillespie. So I'm expecting low 50s here. Well, it's about the mids. 57, 58. So I think they're setting this up nicely. These guys can all go strong and hard on the second lap, and Gillespie's doing just that. So Ryan Gillespie makes the first move. I think that is Marasco in next position, and then Purser. Ernst next. Now we're seeing the Western Age runner there, and Shanahan going down the outside on the back straight. Murray. And also the Mornington runner there and Farrelly battling out the rear of the field. Cheever Lynch back in again. I think that is Marasco and then Purser in 3rd and 4th. But it is Shanahan starting to make a lot of the moves. Now we see Cheever Lynch take the lead again. Marasco going with him. He's one of the top seeds, but look at Shanahan go. Big run here, Kirk Shanahan, but they're all coming at it. Ernst is in it as well. 1:50 on the clock now. So Shanahan grits his teeth and goes for it. He'll take the win from Ernst. Marasco and Perska, Cheever Lynch, Gillespie. We're still in under the 2. So Crowley, Murray, and then Farrelly in that order. And I think we had all bar one potentially under that 2 minute mark. Great racing, the men's D, 800. What a run, Kirk Shanahan, Western Athletics. Take the lead again. Marasco going with him. He's one of the top seeds, but look at Shanahan go. Big run here, Kirk Shanahan, but they're all coming at it. Ernst is in it as well. 1:50 on the clock now. So Shanahan grits his teeth and goes for it. He'll take the win from Ernst. Marasco and Perska, Cheever Lynch.
Maureen, did you get them?
On the track, the women's C 800 metres, and we have from Mentone, Celestine DeBarg Tamai in 2. From Geelong Guild, we have Emily McCormick in 3. From Doncaster, Rachel White in 4. Lara Sakana from Essendon's in 5. Carolyn Hyam is in 6. Meg Dean in 7. Karen Hayter, a Dash for Cash winner from the last meet, she's in 8. And Yvette Cordy, she is in 9, positioned in lane 1. So the local Sakana, she's the top seed here, 2:16.71. Rachel White's also a 2:16 girl well, and the rest of them around that 2:18, 2:19 mark. And we're seeing White really surge out fast at the moment. So White likes to lead it. Sakana sitting midfield at the moment. We're also seeing McCormick working nicely from Geelong Guild. To the outside, Meg Dean, but also Carolyn Hyam. Great to have Carolyn running here tonight. We have named the 800s after her late father, John Hyam. So she'll be here for those presentations shortly as we present $400 to the winners of our A 800 metres. But Hyam out to the outside, I think that's Hayter leading the way. She had an all-the-way win in the last meet at Milers Club, so Karen Hayter from Mentone is going nicely. But now also up there is the Masters runner, and that's Yvette Cordy. Rachel White also vying for the lead. They're all in it at the moment. So DeBark Tamai just sitting at the back. Sakana's in the middle with Dean. They're through in about 68. So about right on target time. I think we're going to see a nice kick down. And it's the experienced runner there in Cordy, who's doing nicely around the outside with Rachel White, the youngster. Meg Dean loves the pro circuit, so you're going to see her strategically make her way through this field. And now Sakana, the local girls, launches. Hyam's got to go with her. Hayter has she spent now her teammate DeBark Tamai with her. And also McCormick there from Geelong Guild. But it's on. It's like a pro race at the moment. They're really going at it. It is the two Essendon girls, Sakana, Hyam. Now Dean goes again alongside White. It's all on. Cordy's probably spent as DeBark Tamai starts to move through. But out front, Sakana. She's not the tallest of the girls, but those legs just go. And Lara Sakana, what a run this one. So Lara Sakana's coming in. She's a 2:16 runner. I think we're going to get her under that today. So Lara, go for it. White's coming home strong. Hyam on the inside, also moving nicely with Dean. But Lara Sakana, another big run for her. Going to be right on the PB mark there of 2:16. White, Dean, Hyam, DeBark Tamai, Hayter, Cordy and McCormick. She's a 2:16 runner. I think we're going to get her under that today. So Lara, go for it. White's coming home strong. Hyam on the inside, also moving nicely with Dean. But Lara Sakana, another big run for her. Going to be right on the PB mark there of 2:16. White, Dean, Hyam, DeBark Tamai, Hayter. The finish area, please. John Cooper, the finish. Simon Fitzpatrick is in one. From Old Scotch, Alex Shears-Jones, our On Encouragement Award winner from Meet 3, is in 4. Oliver Armstrong from Ballerine is in 5. Jeno Assey, the Excite Machine from Knox, is in 6. Tom Forster from St Kevin's in 7. From Sandringham, Hamish Donohue's in 8. And from Ballerine, the two Unthink twins, and it's Joshua and Jackson in station 9 and 10, and lining up in lanes 2 and 3. And Jackson has the headband on. Yeah, who's going to do the Hyam presentation? Okay, the blank checks are down with Lockie in the on 10, so you can... But on the inside, Fitzpatrick's starting to move through. Once again, no pacemaker, so they are racing. Jeno Assey starting to assert himself early. He usually comes through strong late. And also moving up there is Forster, the tall figure in the St Kevin's uniform. But out front, it's our Sandringham runner in Donahue. He's a 157 runner. Assey deciding he's going to go early this time. Fitzpatrick being spat out the back as the two twins go past him. But Donahue looking with good form here. So 157, I'd anticipate maybe a 57, 58 as they go through. So checking through now, 54, 55, 56. So good pace. The rest of the pack through at 57. So also up there at the moment is Oliver Armstrong. He's been running strongly this season. Shears Jones in the next position. And then we've got the two unthanks. And I think that's Joshua first and then Jackson. But out front, Donahue's led all the way. Asso knows how to win these races though. Shears Jones going strongly now. Fitzpatrick starting to get stronger. Forster also starting to wind it up. And it looks like there might be a challenge. Oliver Armstrong is looking strong and it looks like he's going to take the lead. What can Assey do from here? Shears Jones still working nicely. And the first of the unthanked twins working up there, and I think that's Joshua. But out front, the race is on. Armstrong, Assey, but Donahue's back in it again. Boy, he's launched back out again. Assey to the inside, Donahue to the outside. I think Donahue's going to take it. And look at the clock there, about 54. Assey, Armstrong, then the first of the unthanks. Shears Jones, Forster, Fitzpatrick, and Jackson unthanked. Rounds out a pretty damn good field there in the men's C 800. But out front, the race is on. Armstrong, Assey, but Donahue's back in it again. Boy, he's launched back out again. Assey to the inside, Donahue to the outside. I think Donahue's going to take it. And look at the clock there, about 54. Assey, Armstrong, then the first of the unthanks. Shears Jones.
Moving on to the track, is the women's team.
800 metres. Good quality field. Full field of 8, and they are in lane 1, representing Glen Huntley, Emily McLean. From Deakin, in lane 2, Isla Bradshaw, representing Doncaster. In 3, Connor Guest. To the outside of her, lane 4 from Western Athletics, Janae McCrell. Lane 5, from Box Hill, Julie Fitt. In 6, from Diamond Valley, Ali Brooks. To the outside of her, from Collingwood Harriers, Lucy Delbridge. And rounding out the field, from Ballerine, Erica Fountain. It's our field in the women's B, 800 metres. So a real mix of experience and age in this event. Good to see the likes of McLean stepping up to the 800 here. Guest in the inner lane, or the middle lanes, surging forward, and she'll take the lead. So McLean and Bradshaw working well on the inner lanes, but it's Guest who's controlling the pace with Fit to the outside of her, also McCrell. So they're bunching up nicely as we see Ali Brooks just slipping across well into the outer lanes, into the inner, and settling at the rear of the field. But Gist leads it. A bunch of bodies as they go through 200. Everyone's in a position to win this race. Erica Fountain running so well at the moment, the Commonwealth Games runner from 2006 in Melbourne. Julie Fitt's having a great season as well. Seen her running very well at Milers Club. And we're seeing to the outer lanes there, the outside is McCrell coming round to take the lead. Brooks, I think, is tracking her. A big run from Ali Brooks here. So Guest on the inside. McLean's just to the rear of her. McCrell leads it. Fit. Brooks is very, very wide. She's got to bring herself in there. So McCrell, Fit, Guest, Then we've got Fountain. Brooks still in the mix here. Then McLean, gap then to Delbridge and also Bradshaw. But out front, still anyone's here. Erica Fountain in a really good position. Brooks trying to wind it up as he's running alongside McLean, but out front McCrell controls that pace. Guess looking good on the inner lanes, just sitting nicely. Fountain also there as we see McLean starting to launch. Bit of work for Brooks to do now from 200 out. But out front, Fit, McCrell, also Guest. Slight gap to Fountain. McLean working, Brooks still in it. So into the home straight now. Very entertaining 800 here for the women's speed. Julie Fit, she loves to win a race. She's made the big move. Guest is chasing her. McCrell on the inside. Julie Fit going nicely as McLean's coming home strongly as well. So it's Fit on the inside. Guest, this is going to be close. Fit's looking good here, right on the 2:10 mark. And Fit will take it. Guest, McLean, Delbridge came home strong. Then we had Fountain on the inside. Then Bradshaw and Brooks, but very competitive run there in the women's B. 800 metres. And Julie Fit once again taking a win here at Milers Club. She loves to win a race. She's made the big move. Guest is chasing her. McCrell on the inside. Julie Fit going nicely as McLean's coming home strongly as well. So it's Fit on the inside. Guest, this is going to be close. Fit's looking good here, right on the 2:10 mark, and Fit will take it. Guest, McLean, Delbridge came home strong. We have a full field of 9. Toby Griffith from Box Hill is in Station 1. Station 2 from Mentone is Geordie Hoare. James Hatton, Glenn Huntley is in 3. From Western Australia, Lachlan Bennett is in 4. Colin Harriers, Oscar Mazaraki is in 5. From Doncaster, Peter Holland in 6. Box Hill's Darcy Pounds in 7. From Tasmania, Jamie Lawrence in 8. And Robert Whites from Western Afs is in 9. There's the 9 starters in the men's B, 800 metres. Good to see the Interstaters back again. We've got the Western Australian Bennett and also Lawrence from Tassie, and he's in the outer lanes, but it's Toby Griffith, the one who's setting the pace early. Going with him is Hatton from Glenn Huntley, and it is the Western Australian Bennett also moving along very nicely early on. We're seeing Bennett just edge his way to the lead. So Bennett, Griffith, Hatton. Also up there is Holland. And now we see Pound just weaving his way through. So nice running from Darcy Pound. We saw him have a good one last week at the Box Hill Burn over 1,000 metres. And great to see Darcy Pound back racing once again. So his teammate Griffiths on the rails at the moment. Mazaraki also moving nicely. They're really well bunched here. White's from Western Ace at the rear of the field with Hoare. But Mazaraki going to the outside on the shoulder of Pound. But Bennett still controls the pace. Hatton and Holland in the midfield alongside the Tasmanian there in Lawrence. Hoare and White's at the rear of the field, but anyone's race this one. Mazaraki coming alongside Bennett. Pound still in good position. You see Holland just working hard. Hatton now got the quest to get in front of Griffith as we see more coming through, including Hoare and White. So bided their time nicely at the rear of the field. It's so bunched. 600 in. Mazaraki leads. Pounds to the outside of him. Bennett's still in it. Griffith's still in it. And Griffith's the one who's starting to make a move alongside Bennett. So Mazaraki leads as they come into the home straight. Now we see Holland go for it. He's the first to launch. Also the Tasmanian there in Lawrence. So Lawrence going hard to the outside. Holland's on the inside. Time check is 1:50 at the moment. It's going to be some good times here. Lawrence will take it from Holland. Big run from Hatton, then Pound. White's a big finish. Bennett the early leader, then Hoare, Griffith and Mazaraki. They're sitting over with Lockie. Straight. Now we see Holland go for it. He's the first to launch. Also the Tasmanian there in Lawrence. So Lawrence going hard to the outside. Holland's on the inside. Time check is 1:50 at the moment. It's going to be some good times here. Lawrence will take it from Holland. Big run from Hatton, then Pound. White's a big fit.
Who's the signing team?
The tent. The athletic session tent.
So the timing's fitting beautifully here at the Moonee Valley Athletics Centre.
As we have assembling on the field, on the track now, it is the women's A, 800 metres. It is the John Hyam 800 metres for women. The winner will be taking home $400. Thanks to the Hyam family and also Athletics Essendon. Presentations will be made immediately after the men's 800 in front of the on tent. So let's introduce our field. In lane 1, representing St Kevin's, Bridie Hill. Alongside her, her teammate from St Kevin's, Cleo Richardson. In 3 from Warnick Peninsula, it is Jamie Wainwright. Rochelle Kennedy from Western Athletics lines up in lane 4. Isabel Scott is in lane 5. In 6 from Glen Huntley, Claudia Carter. And in 7 from Essendon, it is Matisse Lazari. So underway, the John Hyam 800 metres for women, named in honour of the late and great John Hyam. And it's Izzy Scott, the one who's automatically getting out to the lead. Rochelle Kennedy also working nice in the early stages. Wainwright just to the back of Kennedy, and on the inside, Hill going along very well as Lazari starts to settle at the rear of the field with Richardson. But out front, it is the training partners there in Scott and Kennedy. Wainwright moving very, very well. Lazari really having a red-hot go here, the Essendon girl. So 1, 2, 3, 4 in a line. Now we're seeing, I think that is Hill starting to move through, just gone ahead of Carter. Richardson still at the back, but that's not a problem for Cleo Richardson. So out front, Izzy Scott's moving nicely. She's a 2:06 runner. Top seed in this race, looking to take home the $400 for the Hyam 800. But Rochelle Kennedy, Jamie Wainwright, and Matisse Lazari really in the mix. Big run from Bridie Hill here, lowest seed as they go through at about 61, 62. Kennedy really on the heels of Scott here, making her work hard around that top bend. Slight gap then to Wainwright. What a season Jamie Wainwright's had though, and we're seeing a really competitive in this 800 metres. So Izzy Scott leads it. Kennedy, Wainwright's in the mix here. Gap then to Lazari and Hill, then another gap back to Richardson and also Carter. But out front, it's a race in 3. Scott, Kennedy, little gap now forming to Wainwright. Bigger gap then to Lazari and Hill, but they're battling on beautifully. But out front, Kennedy's been on the heels the whole time. Scott's led it all the way. There's $400 on the line. We're seeing Scott surging forward, but Kennedy's coming at her. It's on. The pace is really picking up here. Kennedy, also Scott, but it looks like Kennedy's just going to have the momentum here. So Rochelle Kennedy, going to be a big time for her as well. 2:05 thereabouts. She'll take out the Hyam 800. Then we have Scott. Big run from Wainwright. Richardson came home strong just over the top of the teammate Hill, but a great run from Bridie Hill, Lazari and Carter. They'll round out the women's A, John Hyam 800. Great win, Rochelle Kennedy. Surging forward, but Kennedy's coming at her. It's on. The pace is really picking up here. Kennedy, also Scott, but it looks like Kennedy's just going to have the momentum here. So Rochelle Kennedy, going to be a big time for her as well. 2:05 thereabouts. She'll take out the Hyam 800. Then we have Scott. Moonee Valley Athletics Centre. It is the men's A800, the John Hyam 800 metres for men. Can they match the excitement of the women's race? Let's introduce the field. From Box Hill, in lane 1, we have James Taranto. Representing Glen Huntly, in 2, Matthew Goff. From St Kevin's, Jack Bowen is in 3. Jacob Reed from Geelong Guild is in 4. Remy Williams, Doncaster, he's in 5. Mitchell Langbourne from Keyless and Burners lines up in 6. Jack Forer from Glen Huntly in 7. And Evander Scott, Athletics Chilwell, in lane 8. They're the starters in the men's John Hyam 800 metres. So expect a good start from Remy Williams here, and he's working nicely in the early stages. Bowen going nicely with Goff just to the inside of him, and Reed also nicely. But it will be Bowen as they settle. Evander Scott's going to come from the outside, so watch out for this kid. He's a huge talent, and next to him another one of the big talents in Victorian middle distance, and that's Remy Williams. So Forer also moving his way nicely into the midfield there. And now we see Langbourne. He's a good strategic runner, Mitch Langbourne, as we see Jack Bowen leading the way from Reed. So they're our 2 top seeds. Langbourne to the outside. But it is Bowen leading the way. Goff's in good position on the rails. Really bunched in. Evander Scott right in the mix at the moment as they go through in 53. Gap then to Taranto. All the names are up there, but it's Mitch Langbourne who's surging his way forward, going with Bowen. Williams has got a bit of work to do, but he's got a big finish. I like what I'm seeing from Scott, though. Reed battling on nicely. Goff looks smooth. Forer also looking good down the back straight. Evander Scott maybe had his race run at this point as Forer goes on the inside of him and Williams to the outside. But out front, Langbourne kicks it in. So Langbourne's gone for it. Looking at that $400, can anyone else challenge? I'm not sure they can. Bowen's starting to go backwards. Reed to the outside of him with Goff. But Mitch Langbourne comes into the home straight. 100 metres between him and $400. We see Remy Williams coming home strong as well with Goff. So Langbourne leads it. Goff starting to surge forward. Williams going with him. But I think Mitch Langbourne's got it. So a good run here. Mitch Langbourne takes the Hyam. Goff, Williams, Reed, Bowen to the inside, then Forer to the outside, Taranto and Evander Scott. Great racing in the men's A. John Hyam, 800. Yep. But Mitch Langbourne comes into the home straight. 100 metres between him and $400. We see Remy Williams coming home strong as well with Goff. So Langbourne leads it. Goff starting to surge forward. Williams going with him. I think Mitch Langbourne's got it. So a good run here. Mitch Langbourne takes the Hyam. Surging forward, but Kennedy's coming at her. It's on. The pace is really picking up here. Kennedy, also Scott, but it looks like Kennedy's just going to have the momentum here. So Rochelle Kennedy, going to be a big time for her as well. 2:05 thereabouts. She'll take out the Hyam 800. Then we have Mitch Langbourne comes into the home straight. 100 metres between him and $400. We see Remy Williams coming home strong as well with Goff. So Langbourne leads it. Goff starting to surge forward. Williams going with him. I think Mitch Langbourne's got it. So a good run here. Mitch Langbourne takes the Hyam. Goff, Williams. tent, we're going to do the presentation of the John Hyam Awards. So it's with great pleasure that we have the Hyam family here to present Rochelle Kennedy with the $400 for winning the John Hyam Women's Open A 800 metres. Hey Arch, you know what you're doing? Good. 58s thereabouts or 59s? Presentation, and it is for the men's John Hyam 800 metres, and we congratulate Mitchell Langbourne, Keyless and Bernard's fantastic run, and he'll take out the $400 as first prize in the Hyam 800 metres. So big congratulations to both Rochelle and Mitch taking out our eights, as we can see on the start line. But Mitch Langbourne comes into the home straight. 100 metres between him and $400. We see Remy Williams coming home strong as well with Goff. So Langbourne leads it. Goff starting to surge forward. Williams going with him. Mitch Langbourne's got it. So good one here. Mitch Langbourne takes the Hyam. Goff, Williams, Arthur, Witchell. So let's introduce our field of the men's Victorian Championship in the mile. In Station 1, he's the hometown boy. He's set this track on fire so many times. It is the one and only Archie Noakes. In Station 2, we welcome him up from Tassie once again, Sam Clifford. Station 3, the only man who's already got his name on this most prestigious trophy. It is from Western Athletics, Matthew Hussey. Station 4, another interstate raider. We've seen him at Milers Club a few times this year. Great to have him back. It is Luke Shaw. Station 5, in the famous Old Scotch colours. Let's welcome to Essendon, Ed Baishar. Station 6, wearing those famous St Stephen's colours. The most wins ever in this championship is Gerald Backhouse from St Stephen's, and it is Christopher Dale. In 8, you've heard his voice so many times, but now he's out on the track doing his stuff. Great run to run a 350, earned his spot in this championship. Isaac Bibelet. He's young, he's inexperienced, but he's quick. Also from Essendon, let's welcome to the track, Charles Barrett. From Old Scotch, the one and only Archie Wallace. From Casey-Gdynia, a regular, I would say a favourite at Milers Club, it is Lachlan Hurd. Another one of our favourite sons from Old Scotch, Tom Bowers. A Victorian 1500 metre champion. Great to have him here in the mile this evening. From St Kevin's, Will Lewis. We've seen a bit of this guy over the track season here in Melbourne this season. Great to have him back at Essendon here. It is Luke Burrows. And rounding out the field from the Bendigo Harriers, another excitement machine. He's young, he's quick. It is Harrison Boyd. So that's our field in the men's Open Victorian Mile Championship. Thanks, Mark. Get off the track, Arthur. Absolutely perfect conditions down here on the track. It's a big field of 14. They're sorting themselves out. This is a championship race. We might see Archie Wallace potentially ease his way forward. He's doing just that. Hussey to the inside. Then we've got Shaw just sitting on the rails at the moment. But Archie Wallace, Hurd to the outside. Expecting him to go through in around 59 seconds. Remember, it's 16.09, so they need to be 59 if they want to get that sub 4, what we want here. Perfect conditions, no excuses. Wallace, Hurd, Hussey to the outside there. Burrows, they are pacing beautifully. Noakes, saw him run bravely last week in the 5K at the Box Hill Burn. Archie's back here again before he heads off to the US. Baisha sitting nicely, his teammate Bowers also going nicely. Clifford at the rear of the field with Boyd. Barrett tucked in beautifully. Dale moving along beautifully. They're right on target as they go through that 400. Right on target. So the winner of this event also pockets the $400. Plus there are the incentives to go as well. So 400 on the line for the Victorian Open Mile Champion. And Lockie Hurd looking strong at the moment. We saw Hussey have a good win at the Box Hill Burn over 1,000 last week. Great to have the Huss back on the track. He's looking good, he's looking confident. Noakes is looking quite solid. Lewis just to the rear of him. Then we have Shaw. Burrows, the tall figure with the cap on, just looming there. Can we have one of the interstaters win this prestigious Victorian Mile Championship? Wallace looking strong, has a poke around the shoulder to see what's happening. It's a solid line behind you, Archie. You're doing a great job. Time check now, 58, 59. We've got to kick it in from here, guys. Pick that pace up. 2:02, 2 laps out. So let's get some crowd involvement here. Hurd's got a bit of work to do. Burrows looking good. Also Shaw looking nice at the moment. Clifford sitting midfield, then Baisha, then Dale. Bowers to the rear of him, then Barrett, Bibelet, and then Boyd. But out front, the pacemaker's done his job. The race is on. Gee, Burrows is looking solid here. So the tall figure there. Luke Burrows looking very good in these mid-stages here. Also Luke Shaw going along nicely. Lewis well positioned, also Noakes. Sam Clifford, as we said, the Tasmanian, tracking along very well. Let's see if we can get them under that 4-minute mark. We've got to see the sub 60 last lap. They've got a bit of work to do, but these guys can kick it down. We've got a few low 340s, guys. It's 3:02, 3:03. Let's see if we can get the sub 4, and it is Burrows, the one who takes it. So Luke Burrows. Then we got Hurd. Hussey starting to work forward. So Burrows, Hussey, Hurd, Lewis moving nicely. Shaw in next position. Noakes has got work to do. Baisha and then Clifford. Big gap then, and it's Barrett. But out front, Burrows, Hussey. They're starting to get away from Hurd, and Shaw now starting to work his way through into third position. So the Huss is the only one in this field who's ever won a Victorian mile. Can he take 2? So Burrows leads the way. Hussey. Then we've got Noakes coming home the outside. Can the Essendon boy take this? He'd love a Victorian Open Championship. Noakes going. Hussey goes again. It's Noakes and Hussey. Hussey leads forward. Shaw coming at them as well. But Matt Hussey's going to get his name on that trophy twice. Just ticking over the 4. So Hussey, Noakes, then Shaw. Good run for Barrows. Big run then Lewis. Baisha coming through with Hurd, Barrett, Dale, Bowers, Boyd and Bibelet. Matt Hussey, second time he's taken the Victorian Championship. Just over the 4-minute mark. Essendon boy take this. He'd love a Victorian Open Championship. Noakes going. Hussey goes again. It's Noakes and Hussey. Hussey leads forward. Shaw coming at them as well. But Matt Hussey's going to get his name on that trophy twice. Just ticking over the 4. So Hussey, Noakes, then Shaw. Good.
Guys, who just finished.
Okay, from the excitement of the men's Victorian Mile Championship, we now go to the Victorian Women's Championship. This is the 20th time this has been run, and we have one existing champion in this field. Let's introduce the field. Station 1, the excitement machine from Williamstown. Let's introduce Piper Gay. Another one of our youngsters who's been really ripping up the track this season. From Western Athletics, Lucy Cleveland. Once again, they're being introduced to Arthur Witchell and Marg Crowley. Sensational year this year. She has really burst through onto the elite scene. Coming down from Bendigo Uni in Station 4, Tully Rowe. It's 14 years since we've run the Mile Championship on this track, and the winner that day was Anna Kasapis. 14 years later, she's back, representing Athletics Essendon, the only Mile champion in this field at the moment, Anna Kasapis. From Deakin, she ripped up the track in Geelong at the Countries. It is Tess Rhodes. From the Mornington Peninsula Athletic Club, another exciting junior. Let's introduce Imogen Baker. One of our unattached runners, but I think she's a Geelong-based girls. It is Freya Dess. Another promising junior. We've seen her here so many times at Milers Club. Representing Glen Huntly, Tanasha Santosh. Another one of our big improvers, great steeplechaser. Good to see her down to the mile here tonight. From Yarra Ranges, Olivia Twining. Another young excitement machine from the Glen Huntly Athletic Club. Had a very strong XCR season. She's now back on track. It is Madison King. And back from the US. Good to see her here, representing the Williamstown Athletic Club, Lucinda Rourke. So big thank you once again to Arthur and Marg. This is the field in the Women's Open Victorian Mile Championship. Thank you. This one. Yeah, wrong one. Mile Championship for women. No paces. This is a championship race, and we automatically see Lucinda Rourke take the lead. Tully Rowe, as I said, what a big season she's had. She's run a 4:30 for 1500. Big improvement for Tully. She's sitting on the inner lanes there and moving very nicely early. Can I have the ones with times, please? Yeah. So Rourke, Rowe, Santosh, Cleveland, King, Piper Gay just making a little bit move now, so trying to establish a good position early. We saw her run a big one with Morgan Mitchell. I think that was meet number 2 at Box Hill, where she ran a 4:28 for 1,500 metres. So now she's racing in a very competitive race. So they're all in it as they start to clear around that top bend. Going to see some clarity in this race as they come round. We see Tully Rowe leading the way. Lucinda Rourke also up there. Going wide is Annika Sarpis. What a great career she's having, well into her 40s, and Annika Sarpis still such a competitive runner. So Cleveland looking solid. Piper Gay in the midfield. Twining's right up there. Tess Rhodes just making a little bit of move to get good position. Baker and Des at the rear of the field. And Tully Rowe setting the pace here. Cleveland in good position. So Rose striding out nicely. Rourke positioned well. Now we're starting to see that steady line as the pace just increases. We're seeing Rowe just winding it up here. So Piper Gay made a good move to get on the back of Kasarpas. A little bit of a gap then to Santosh and then Twining. So out front, once again perfect conditions here. Not a breath of wind down on the track. So great mild conditions as we're seeing Tully Rowe. What a year she's had, what a season. And we're seeing her now leading the Open Victorian Mile Championship here. Lucinda Rourke on her heels. Then it's our clutch of youngsters. Cleveland, King, Gay, Kasarpas then. I'll say she's a youngster because she's still running like one. Annika Sarpis, how good is this? Gap then to Santosh, Baker, Twining, Rhodes and Des. So 2 out, no change. Lead bunch now of 6. Gap then to Santosh and Baker. So Rourke content to let Rowe just set that pace. Cleveland happy with that as well, and King's just sitting in nicely. So Rourke, I can sense, is just getting a little bit of a move on here, coming alongside Rowe. Cleveland going with them. Still a race in 6 out front. So Baker moving into that next position. Santosh, Twining. Then we have Rhodes and Des. But out front, Tully Rowe leads the way. She set the pace the whole way through as we come down. We will be getting the bell in this Victorian Mile Championship. Will we see one of these exciting juniors take an Open Championship as Piper Gay is the first one to make a big move? Kasarpas just dropping a little bit. Rose led all the way. Rourke is on the rails at the moment as Piper Gay makes her move. So Rowe, Gay, Rourke in that order. Few gaps forming. Cleveland's working hard and now Rourke goes. So Lucinda Rourke, the more experienced of this group, but she's being chased by Piper Gay. Piper Gay has a lot of go and we're seeing that down this back straight as Lucinda Rourke tries to break her, but there's no breaking happening yet. 200 out, it's a race in 2. Then a good challenge for that 3rd spot on the podium for the Victorian champs. So Lucinda Rourke trying to stretch Piper Gay out here. Gay's not budging. This is going to be a ripper race. Get behind him into this home straight. This race is on. It's the old and the new here from the Williamstown Club. A 1-2 for the Williamstown Club here coming down the home straight. It's on. Piper Gay takes the lead. We're going to see the youngest ever winner in the Victorian Open Mile Championship. Piper Gay all the way through. Sub 450, Gay takes it. Mile Open champion. Rourke will come through. Rowe will be rewarded with a podium finish. Great run from King. Cleveland in next position under the 5 minutes with Baker. Kasarpas through on 5 minutes. Santosh, Des, Rhodes and Twining. What a great Victorian Open Mile Championship. Congratulations, Piper Gay. Over beyond there. Here coming down the home straight, it's on. Piper Gay takes the lead. We're going to see the youngest ever winner in the Victorian Open Mile Championship. Piper Gay all the way through. Sub 450, Gay takes it. Mile Open champion. Rourke will come through. Rowe will be rewarded with a podium.
As we prepare for, thanks Tim for the commentary so far, as we prepare for these presentations, did just want to go over the timetable, remaining timetable, just while we do get set up. We have just seen the 2A miles. 8:32 is the, 8:39 is the men's B mile. Just a little bit behind just because we've had a few presentations, but no doubt we will catch up. Scrolling through to the last event, 37 events on the timetable. We'll round out the night with a men H mile, 9:46 scheduled time. It's a nice night down there at the Essendon Athletics Track. We will tune back into Tim Crosbie for the remaining part of the night and the presentations.
Bart Leeton from Old Sky Chief and McMenemy Western A's, Brett Ellis Williamstown, Jacob Bell KSB, Luca DeConza St Gevans, Caleb Gilbert from Albury, Callan Goldsmith Mornington, Dylan Egadawade from Kearless and Bernards, Tom McFarlane, Glenn Huntley, Matthew Sostarak from Essendon, Joshua McLeod Box Hill, Samuel Foster Melbourne Uni, Lachlan Connell St Stevens, Angus McAfee from Bendigo Uni and Ruben Clemenger from Old Melburnians. Two pacemakers, Paddy Matthews and Matt Patton. We will do presentations. So it looks like it is. Our two paces out front. It could be Alice in next position. We'll just wait till they come out of the darkness into the home straight, but beautiful conditions here tonight. This is fast mile racing as we've seen. I can see Egadawade up there. Also McMenemy positioned well early, but it is Bart Leeton leading the race proper. Connell sitting nicely in there. Also Goldsmith sitting to the outside. So moving nicely, Gilbert at the tail end. Look at that sunset. So photographers' desired here tonight. What a night for racing. So Egadawade sitting up there early. I think that's McMenemy leading the race proper. So he's got the two pacemakers in Matthews and Patton to the outside of him. Leeton on the rails, Goldsmith to the outside of him, then Connell. A little bit of pushing and shoving as the field starts to come together. That means the pace out front's just starting to ease. So Gilbert sitting comfortably at the rear of the field at the moment. Young runner from Albury. We've seen a lot of him in the last few weeks. There's Patton. He's got the lead at the moment, our pacemaker. Egadawade just off McMenemy. Foster, the Melbourne Uni runner, to the outside. We've also got McFarlane up there. Bell starting to make a move, so Starrick's in good position. So 2 to go. Very nicely bunched, this B race. Majority of these are sub 4 minute 1500 metre runners. As we see the Glenn Huntley runner there in McFarlane, one of the first to make a bit of a move, now alongside Lockie Connell, but out front, it is Dylan Egadawade. So the Kearless and Berners runner coming alongside our pacer. So the pacer's done his job. Got him through to the 1 kilometre mark, thereabouts. So Bell's now moved up. Looks like it's McMenemy. So Egadawade, McMenemy. Then Goldsmith, Connell. Foster's still in the mix here. Josh McLeod also going nicely midfield. So Bell sitting there with him. The inside of him is DeConza. So Bell lap, McMenemy. Probably a bit stiff not to make that a Victorian mile chance, but can Ethan McMenemy turn it on here in this B mile? So Goldsmith's having a ripper of a run too. Also up there, McFarlane. They're really starting to wind it up, and Lockie Connell's the next one to launch. So Goldsmith to the outside now. So McMenemy, Goldsmith, Connell now in third. So rounding the bend, McMenemy's defending his position beautifully. Connell's got a bit of work to do around the outside. Also up still is McFarlane in the Glenn Huntley uniform. And round they come. McMenemy's done a lot of the hard work here. He'll want to win out of this one. He's got the previous mile winner. We want to see a 1-2 here for the Western A's teams, or 2 wins in a row. But gee, they're coming down hard. Foster's also in it. McMenemy's 4:10s on the clock. McMenemy will take it. Connell, then Goldsmith, Foster. Good one from McFarlane. Then DeConza, McLeod, Egadawade, Bell, Leeton. Then we have Clemenger. So great running. Let's go back to presentations. Let's roll through them. It looks like the boys are ready. He's got the previous mile winner. We want to see a 1-2 here for the Western A's teams, or 2 wins in a row. But gee, they're coming down hard. Foster's also in it. McMenemy's 4:10s on the clock. McMenemy will take it. Connell, then Goldsmith, Foster. Good one from McFarlane. Then DeConza, McLeod, Egadawade, Bell. Let's do boys first. Let's do presentation for the Victorian Open Men's Championship, and my big apologies, this is actually 3 in a row for Matt Hussey. So a silver medal representing St Kevin's, Will Lewis. Sorry, bronze medal. I've only called 27 races, so it's early days. Our silver medalist, local champion, we love him here. Archie Noakes, Open silver. But 3 mile championships in a row. He's getting right up there with the likes of Crouch, Vincent. Backhouse has got 6. You've got a bit of work to do. From Western Athletics, Matthew Hussey. So congratulations, Will, Archie and Huss. Great racing, the Men's Open Mile Championship. Let's go straight to presentation being made by Lockie Aspinall from On. Sorry, Luke, we had to sort of go without you. That's right. We'll get you out of invite medal. Our silver medalists, representing Bendigo University, it is Tully Rowe. Sorry, bronze medalists. Our silver medalists, representing the Williamstown Athletic Club, Lucinda Rourke. And the 20th Victorian Open Women's Miles Champion, it is from Williamstown Athletic Club, Piper Gay. Let them rip, and I'll call once I get going. Coming down the home straight, it's on. Piper Gay takes the lead. We're going to see the youngest ever winner in the Victorian Open Mile Championship. Piper Gay all the way through. Sub 450, Gay takes it. Mile Open champion. B Mile Championship. Zoe Clark from Yarra Rangers, Molly Bremner from Essendon, Erin Mariner Ringwood, Natasha Rourke Williamstown, Olivia DaCosta Elves Sandringham, Abby Hickey, Annabelle Coleman from Oldsavarians, Chelsea Tickle from South Bendigo, Freya Brown Mentone, Orla Shackloff Sandringham, Meg Oakley Kirsten Stevenson, Greta Ashley from Ballarat YCW. So nice bunch field, Freya Brown leading the way. Doesn't mind doing that, the Mentine runner. Looks like Oakley Kerr just sitting off the back of her. Thanks for that, Lockie. Everyone's got their mobiles out. This sunset is just to die for. Beautiful red track, green grass. Look at that sunset as these runners in the B race start to come through now. And Molly Bremner making her little way through there. Brown setting the pace beautifully. Mariner also looking good. Coleman to the outside. Gee, they're all in it. Hickey at the rear of the field as they go through. Well, I wish I had the time, but I don't. John Cooper, we give you one job. And it wasn't to deliver great weather, but you did do that. So Freya Brown looking good. Gee, I like what's happening here because they are setting this up for a big kick finish. Oakley Kerr, she's been running nicely and improving race by race this season. Shackloff not too far behind her as well. Bremner's still in there, but just drifting back through the midfield now. So some good support now down the back straight as well, which is good to see. What a perfect night for this. As this B field are travelling along really nicely. So Hickey sitting at the rear of the field with Bremner now. May have had just a slight change out front. As the girls are just starting to pick up the pace. You can just sense that the cracks are forming here a little bit. And that's all a Shackloff leading the way. And now it's a Sandringham teammate. And that's the Costa Elves. She takes it. Chickle looking dangerous. Also from Yarra Rangers, there's Zoe Clark in really good position. So 2 to go. So the pace lifting. De Costa Elves. Shackloff. Oakley Kerr. So the pace going nicely. Freya Brown still in the mix. I'd be watching for Chelsea Tickle. She's in good position there. So still a big bunch. A lot in contention here. Once again, a change of lead. The Sandringham girls are working well out front. Oakley Kerr in the St Stephen's strip also moving nicely. Tickle well positioned, just on the shoulder of Oakley Kerr, but it's Shackloff leading. Costa Elves now on the rails. Clark in good position. Ashley, Brown, Mariner, Coleman, and then Rourke. Gap then to Bremner and Hickey. So right on 4 minutes, sap the bell. So now a nice little kick down. The race in 2 out front. Shackloff, Oakley Kerr, Ashley starting to move nicely. Brown back in the fray again. So Freya Brown, early leader, surging forward. Also going is Annabelle Coleman, and she's really launching for it now. Oakley Kerr takes the lead. So Meg Oakley Kerr leading the way at the moment. Freya Brown coming alongside Shackloff. Annabelle Coleman in next position. Zoe Clark, then Greta Ashley. But into the home straight now. Oakley Kerr looking strong. They're starting to come at her again. Shackloff rises. Zoe Clark's the big mover. But Meg Oakley Kerr, she's got enough in it now. Looks like Zoe Clark's coming through very nicely. She'll take second. Shackloff, then Brown, then Coleman. Mariner to the outside of Ashley, then Rourke, then Tickle. Next one through will be De Costa Elves and Hickey and Bremner rounding out the field in the women's B mile. From Essendon, Erin Mariner Ringwood, Natasha Rourke Williamstown, Olivia DaCosta Elves Sandringham, Abby Hickey, Annabelle Coleman from Oldsavarians, Chelsea Tickle from South Bendigo, Freya Brown Mentone, Orla Shackloff Sandringham, Meg Oakley Kirsten Stevenson, Greta Ashley from Ballarat YCW. So nice bunch field, Freya Brown leading the way. To field once they're underway. So we have 12 in the field. They're looking at about 64 to 65 for that opening lap. We have Brad Hall and also Matt Patton pacing this one. Callan Luong from Box Hills in 1. From Essendon, Jonathan Neefling is in 2. Michael Martello, Diamond Valley in 3. Oliver Pratt from Mornington's in 4. Alan Vernal from Nunawading is in 6. Callum Settle, Ringwood in 7. From Box Hill, Jack Waters in 8. From Ringwood, Thomas Lynette in 9. From Box Hill, Michael Petridis in 11. Max Luke, Collingwood Harris in 12. Avery McDermott, Bendigo Uni 13. And Daniel Malone from Knox in 14. So the two pacemakers with McDermott, I believe, leading the pack at the moment. Callan Luong not too far behind. Nicely bunched at the moment. It looks like Vernal at the rear of the field as they settle. So some good, talented youngsters in this field, and we're seeing a few of those, Avery McDermott being one of them. Daniel Malone to the outside, then Luong. Also up there at the moment is Pratt. Martello to the outside of him. Lynette well positioned early. They're all well positioned early. This is looking really solid for a lot of the young guys, including the Collingwood Harrier there and Max Luke, tucked in nicely in this bunch. So good opportunity now, the sun's down, barbecue's still going, the canteen's open, air temperature coming down a little bit. Great opportunity to go and see what Athletics Essendon have got on offer. As we see the race out front, McDermott hasn't changed. He's got Malone right on him, Martello looking strong. Pratt to the rear of that pack. Luong also up there. Then a little bit of a gap, and that goes back to Max Luke. To the outside of him is Petridis. So pacing along nicely. They were asking around that 64, 65 for the lap, and they're right on that. So about 65 for the 800s. So 210 through the 800 mark. So McDermott now leads from Malone. Martello, then Pratt, Luong, Petridis, then Luke. Then we've got the two Ringwood runners there, Callum Settle, and also that will be Thomas Lynette. Striding nicely out front. McDermott now doing the work. Pratt moves into third position. Martello 4. Luong by himself, but Petridis is moving well and I think is bridging that gap. So don't forget you can come down onto the track if you want to get closer to the action. Don't stay the other side of the fence if you want to get close in and cheer the runners on. Let's get a bit of atmosphere here. The conditions absolutely perfect. As we see McDermott still leading. He's been leading since the paces went. Malone's being very brave here and going to the outside. Petridis now moving in this slot. Then Neefling, Luke. Then next one up was Settle. Then Lynette. Then Vernal. And rounding out there, we'll try and identify that Knox runner. But out front, it's Pratt. This has been a good run from Pratt. He's sitting in 4th or 5th early. He's took the move when they split. Now he's taken the lead ahead of McDermott. So it's Pratt, McDermott, Malone. That gap to Martello just stretching. Then our two Box Hill runners, Petridis and Luong. Then Neefling and Luke. But But now big moves come from McDermott again. He's done so much of the work out front. So Avery McDermott from Bendigo Uni going nicely here, but Pratt's coming at him again. Let's get behind him. It's a big finish here. Pratt launches again. McDermott's trying to hold on, but I think Pratt has the momentum. Martello's back in it again, but it will be Pratt who will take this one. Oliver Pratt, what a run. He's happy with that. 4:24 thereabouts. Martello in third, then Malone, Luong over Petridis, Neefling, the Essendon boy, next. Then we have, that was Lynette, then Settle, Luke. Also up there is Jack Waters and Vernal round out our men's C mile race. Oh, how are you? Yeah, but Pratt's coming at him again. Let's get behind him. It's a big finish here. Pratt launches again. McDermott's trying to hold on, but I think Pratt has the momentum. Martello's back in it again, but it will be Pratt who will take this one. Oliver Pratt, what a run. He's happy with that. 4:24 thereabouts. Martello in third, then Malone, Luong over Petridis. Well, the women's C mile, 13 starters. Mia Strudley from Yarra Rangers, Emily Dalziel, Rose Ashman from Barrow YCW, Molly Phillips, Glenn Huntley. From Box Hill, Julie Norney, Georgia Pounding, Old Severians, Olivia Beaton from Ballarat YCW, Liz Hall from Western Afs, Jacinta Crowley, Glenn Huntley, Marianne McSweeney, Williamstown, Keelis and Bernards is Kate Saris, Sienna Rose, Sandringham, and from Glenn Huntley, Serena Bryant. So already we're seeing a bit of a spread in this field, so a bit of an age mix in this one. Julie Norney, one of our more experienced runners, she's sitting at the rear of the field at the moment. Just trying to identify as they come around. That could be the Glenn Huntley uniform potentially leading the way at the moment. And that's Serena Bryant. Well, that could be Crowley. There are two of them out there. My apologies. So it is, Molly Phillips. I got it totally wrong. So Phillips leads. Also up there is Sienna Rowe, then Hall. Then we've got Bryant. Dalziel moving to the outside. Ballarat YCW runner there is Beaton. Now we see Norney just bridging that gap and coming into that second pack. But out front, Molly Phillips leads the way. She's a 5:05, 1,500 metre runner. So we're looking around that 5:25 to 5:30 mark for the mile. Paul's having a good run, sitting there in third position. Pounding at the back of that pack. Just in front of her is the YCW runner there. So Sienna Rowe, Sandringham. Just going to the outside now of Phillips. Hall now sitting in fourth position. As Phillips still leading the way. Rowe about to go to the outside. So I think that's Bryant sitting in third. So Phillips. Rowe. Bryant next, then Hall, Dalziel, also Crowley. Then we have Beaton, Pounding, then Strudley, McSweeney. Then we have Saris, Norney, and also Ashman. scratchings? Quite a few scratchings. Yeah, that's the juniors race that I sort of put together. Out front, I think that might be Crowley trying to, sorry, Bryant coming through. A little bit hard to see down the back straight. Actually, that could be Crowley. Paul's still in the mix nicely. I think Dalzill's moved up nicely as well. But out front, we might see a change of lead here. Sienna Rowe just edging alongside, but Phillips doesn't want to give it up. So Phillips, Rowe coming through. They'll be getting 500 metres to go. Really getting in close and tight here. So Rowe wants to take the lead. Just edging in on Phillips now. Oh, they're coming together a little bit. So it's really tight racing here. Phillips trying to defend that inner lane. Rowe really going for it. There's a gap of 15 metres to Dalziel. Then it's Crowley. Hall's still in it. Then Bryant. Beaten. Pounding. And now Rowe goes for it. There's a big battle down that home straight, but Sienna Rowe now goes. McSweeney next, then Strudley, Norney, Saris, and Ashman. And out front, Sienna Rowe, one of our top seeds. Striding beautifully down the back straight. Really fought for that lead in the home straight, and now she's got it all on her own. So Rowe. Phillips. Now it's starting to get interesting as we see Beaton starting to move up on Dalziel and also Crowley. Gap then to Bryant. Pounding's there with Hall. But out front, Serena Bryant really bullocked away into the lead here. What she got over this last 150 metres as they come into the home straight in this women's C mile event. So time check now, getting close to the 5-minute mark. So it's going to be well under the 5:30. So big win here. Sienna Rowe from Sandringham. She's going to take it out. Great run from Phillips. Gee, Beaton's moving beautifully too, but Sienna Rowe, that's a big run. So she's going to be in about the 5:15 mark. So great run. Phillips not to be outdone. Big run from her. Nice finish from Beaton. She'll come through for third. Then Dalziel, Pounding, Crowley, Bryant's. Then Norney settled at the back of the field, and then look what Julie Norney does, sub 5:30. Then we'll have McSweeney, Strudley, Hall, Saris in next position. And let's get behind Rose Ashman from Ballarat. Great to have the YCW Harriers back here again. So Rose Ashman, she'll be the last one through. Let's get her in under that 6-minute mile. Well and truly under, right on the 5:50 mark for Rose Ashman. Sienna Rowe from Sandringham. She's going to take it out. Great run from Phillips. Gee, Beaton's moving beautifully too, but Sienna Rowe, that's a big run. So she's going to be in about the 5:15 mark. So great run. Phillips not to be outdone. Big run from her. Nice finish from Beaton. She'll come through for third. Then Dalziel. Three pacemakers. A lot of the birth years in this one, the 08s, 09s, 10s and 11s. So this is pretty much a junior race. Three pacemakers, Matt Patton, Pat Hall and Christian Knox. And our field is Riley Shalito from Ballarat YCW, Harry Osmond from Athletics Essendon, from Collingwood Harriers, Oscar Luke, Jasper Gay from Williamstown. We saw his sister win the Open Mile. Also from Williamstown, Jesper Bignell. From Athletics, Essendon, Jude Barrett. Also from Essendon, Noah Torello. From Ballarat YCW, Jesse Nankervis. From Western A's, it's Emerson Arnold. Charlie Morton lines up in 13. Tyler Hughes is in 15. He's from Mornington. Aiden Davis from Athletics Essendon in 16. And Oscar Woodhouse from Wellington, doubling up after the 800. He's in 18. So two of the paces, so that is Hall and also Patton, leading out nicely. One of our young Essendon runners. There's quite a few of them in this race, the locals. Great to bring the mile champs back to the Moonee Valley Athletics Centre, and they are loving it. And that's Aiden Davis. How good does he look? Then we go Noah Torello, also up there Riley Shalito. Jasper Gay's coming through. Then we have Tyler Hughes. Then Christian Knox is pacing through at about the 5-minute mark. So most of the boys still in it quite tightly here, but it is Aiden Davis out front. One of the top seeds, he's a 4:30, 1,500 metre runner. Also up there should be Shalito, and he's starting to move through, probably getting an eye on Davis at the moment. Torello there as well, he's a sub 4:30 man as well. So great to see a lot of these juniors out here. School day tomorrow, so we've tried to shove them into a slightly earlier race. Get them home, get them to bed. But how exciting is this? Watching those open miles and the John Higham 800s, and then they're out here on the same track in these perfect conditions. And Aiden Davis just taking advantage of these great paces. Matt Patton. Brad Hall's just dropping back a little bit. He's going to pick up Riley Shalito, the Ballarat YCW runner. Seen a lot of Riley this year, and he's progressing beautifully in those famous red and white colours. Torello next. Gay all by himself now. Next one through, and that is Emerson Arnold. Also Tyler Hughes. Jesper Bignell next. Then our 5-minute pacer, and he's got Oscar Luke coming with him. Also Oscar Woodhouse. So 2 to go. The men's D mile. Great to see a good crowd still here. I know we've done all the A races, but there's some good action still coming up. So stay around and support your teammates, your club members, and family members. As we see Patton leading Davis, Hall leading Shalito, Torello all by himself, so too Jasper Gay. So don't forget, you can come down trackside, come down and support them, get into the lanes, no one's going to stop you. Let's get right up and support the kids, get over the fence. That's it, Brad Hall really encouraging Riley Shalito. This is great, this is what the paces are all about. Patton's doing the same, the race is now on. Well done paces. Torello in next position. Jasper Gay going nicely. Arnold in next position. Hughes next. Then we have Bignell. Another one of the youngsters from Williamstown. Good to see Woodhouse back out again in those Wellington colours. And once again, great to have the Wellington Athletic Club here in big numbers. Next through is Morton. Also up there is Osman. Next one of our YCW runners there is Nankervis. But out front, oh, it's a race in 2. It's on. The paces are out now. Let's get behind them. We've got the Ballarat runner, Shalito. He's taken the lead. Can Aiden Davis respond? We've seen a few comebacks here tonight on this track, but it looks like Riley Shalito's really got the legs here. So Shalito just striding out beautifully. 4:30 now on the clock. Let's get him around that 4:45 mark. So Riley Shalito, how good is this? Beautifully paced there by Brad Hall. That's brought him in. Aiden Davis, what a brave run that is. Won't lose any friends with that type of running. As we see Torello, so Essendon 2 and 3. And then Jasper Gay, next one through. So 4:56, unofficial there for Gay. Big race here. Arnold and also Hughes, but Tyler Hughes will just get in front of Emerson Arnold. Bignell through next. Then we have Woodhouse. Big sprint on here. Jude Barrett up there. Also Osmond and Luke. Morton through next. And Nankervis. And that rounds out the men's D mile race. Finding out beautifully. 4:30 now on the clock. Let's get him around that 4:45 mark. So Riley Shalito, how good is this? Beautifully paced there by Brad Hall. That's brought him in. Aiden Davis, what a brave run that is. Won't lose any friends with that type of running. As we see Torello. So the women's D mile, this is the last of our women's event for the evening, I believe. Event number 33 of 37. Ebony Woodward from Bendigo Uni in 1. Tully Watt is in 2. Jasmine Norelli from Western A's is in 3. Alan Michelle from Mentone is in 4. Ruby Alice Essendon in 5. Adina Morrow Preston in 6. From Ballarat YCW, Jacqueline McBratney Owen in 8. Elizabeth Mukherjee from Mansfield is in 9. Natalie Barr Ringwood in 10. Tully Lang, Bendigo Harriers in 11. And Miller Hopkins is in 13. With Georgina Mees leading the way as our pacer. So Mees setting a nice steady pace. They're looking about 84 for the first lap. We'll see how that pans out. So our final women's event of the evening. Great to see Rochelle Kennedy taking out the John Hyam Women's 8 and also Piper Gay taking out the Victorian Mile Championship earlier in the program, as Georgia Mees is doing a great job here. Girls just settling in beautifully. Tully Watts up there, also the local girl Ruby Alice, also up there a rally from Western A's, the Bendigo Harriers girl there, Tully Lang. So Mees has got them moving beautifully at the moment. So right on pace around that 84. So Alice looking good. Tully Watt, she's in the blue, just sitting behind Alice, the taller figure. Ebony Woodward could be up there as well, or in that gap. Bratney Owen sitting in that second pack. She's the Ballarat YCW runner. So good solid group of 5 sitting off Georgina Mees. So expect them to come through about the 2:48 mark through the 800. So Mees, very good pacing here. Natalie Barr also in the mix now. So just slipping off the 84s a little bit. So Barr up there, Tully Lang also there, Morrow, McBratney, also Woodward coming through. Then we've got Ella Michelle, Miller Hopkins in next position. Then Elizabeth Mukherjee. So 2 to go. Mees leading Alice. Watt in next position. O'Reilly. Then we have Barr. Lang just off the back of her. And it's Barr who's making a little bit of a move down the back straight. So Barr now moving to the 3rd in the race behind the pacer. So rounding the bend, second last time here. Georgina Mees will bring him into the home straight, and that's probably her job done. So Mees just encouraging the girls to keep that pace going. Ruby Ellis, she's a 5:17, 1500 metre runner. She is one of our top seeds alongside Tully Lang. Tully Watt's coming in for 6 minute time, but I reckon that's more of a mile time than a 15 time. So well done, Georgina Mees. Thanks for your job tonight. And you've set this race up beautifully. So Alice, Watt, then Barr. Next up there is Lang, then O'Reilly, Morrow, McBratney Owen, Woodward in the next position, then Michelle, Hopkins next. They're going to hear the sound of the bell. Mukherjee rounding out the field, but she's seen the bodies in front, not getting far away from her. So on to the last lap now, and it is Tully Watt who's taken the lead, but gee, it's willing out there at the moment as we see the Ringwood runner there in Barr. Really starting to go for it and trying to break into that lead there of Watt, but gee, Watt looks strong. So Watt, Barr, I think that's Lang in next position. Then Alice, who's done so much of the work out front, but Tully Watt coming through, 5:20 on the clock as they come down. Let's get some good times from these girls as we see Tully Lang. She's the Bendigo Harriers girl, and she is really going for it. So bide the time, but Tully Lang, 5:17 for the 15, and this is going to be a really good performance. 5:38 thereabouts for the mile. Watt in next position. Then we have Barr, then Alice, great run from Ruby Alice. O'Reilly was brave early, Morrow finishing very strongly here. So under the 6 minute mark, let's get McBratney Owen also under that 6 minutes. And let's get behind our other performers here as they come through. So Ebony Woodward from Bendigo Uni, she's coming through. It's going to be a good run for her over the mile. So just over the 6 minute mark, nice finish there from Hopkins. Next one through, Ella Michelle from Mentone. And let's get behind Elizabeth Mukherjee from Mansfield to be our final finisher here in the women's D mile race.
Thanks, guys.
Let's get straight into it. Lane 1 at the inside.
Let's get some good times from these girls as we see Tully Lang. She's the Bendigo Harriers girl, and she is really going for it. So bide the time, but Tully Lang, 5:17 for the 15, and this is going to be a really good performance. 5:38 thereabouts for the mile. Watt in next position. E-mile. We've got Mark Stodden from Richmond doubling up after the 800s. Tyler Denboer from Melbourne Uni. Andrew Lego Mentone from VCCL. Tobias Lawrence. Ben Butler is also here. Rory Vile from Old Scotch also doubling up. Archie Siderides, Glenn Huntley. Nicholas Blackney also from Glen Huntley. Dane Gray. Carlos Rodriguez Ordonez. James Fallon from Sandringham. Dylan Gillespie from TXR. From Essendon, Charlie Branch. And Hamish McLean from Collingwood Harriers. So that's our field in the men's E. We've got 65-second pace with Matt Patton. And Brad Hall's going around about 69 seconds. So settling nicely as they come round for the first time into the home straight. So Patton leading it. Rory Vile in the next position. Pretty sure Rory ran an 8. So he's back out again. Good to see him doubling. Now Sandringham runner there is Fallon. We then have Gillespie, Sidoritas. Then Rodriguez Ordonez, the Spaniard. Lego sitting nicely at the back with Stodden. A few of our older and wiser runners. Just letting the pack settle early. As we see Vile and also Fallon going nicely. So Gillespie's got a 4:17. He's one of the top seeds. Also is Fallon. Sidoritas sitting in there. Nicely spread at the moment. Tobias Lawrence also moving nicely in the midfield. So Matt Patton leads them, coming through to the 800 metre mark. So probably a little bit off the 65 pace at the moment. But Vile, Patton, Ordonez, Rodriguez also up there. Also Gillespie and Sidoritas. Dane Gray, the Huntley runner, also there. And then Brad Hall coming through. So Stodden and Lego starting to make their way through the pack. So no real change out front. Rory Vile, Fallon, Rodriguez Ordonez, and then we're seeing Sidoritas just starting to make his way into that lead pack. A little bit of a gap then to Gillespie. He's got Gray working with him. Now we're seeing Brad Hall just coming alongside Tobias Lawrence. They've got the old Zavarian with him. Trying to identify them as they come through. But Matt Hall just giving me a bit of encouragement. He'll pull out after this lap and the race will be on. There's 4 of them in it. All right, then Matt's giving them a real hurry on here. Rory Vile leads it. 1 lap to go. Starting to get a little bit of a move on here. Beautifully paced. Now we're seeing Sidoritas on the rail starting to move through. He's just gone on the inside of Fallon. Now he goes to the outside there of Vile. But the Spaniard leads it. Carlos Rodriguez Ordonez. Now the race is on for 2, 3 and 4. So the slightly older runners just starting to edge away from Sidoritas, Fallon and Vile. But the Spaniard leads it. Lazar look around. He'll hear James Fallon coming at him. Also Rory Vile. But Carlos Rodriguez Ordonez, he'll take this one just over the 4:30 mark. Fallon will take second, then Vile, then Sidoritas, about 4:35 unofficially. Gillespie next. Then we got Blackney. Gray in next position. Also Ben Butler. Lawrence, Stodden, Denboa, Lego, Blanche. And rounding out the field, Hamish McLean. Sidoritas, Fallon and Vile. The Spaniard leads it. Lazar look around. He'll hear James Fallon coming at him. Also Rory Vile. But Carlos Rodriguez Ordonez, he'll take this one just over the 4:30 mark. Fallon will take second, then Vile, then Sidoritas, about 4:35 unofficial. F mile. And we have 9 starters plus a few paces once again. So great to see our pacers doing a big job here this evening at the Moonee Valley Athletics Centre. Our field from Western A's, Carl Shapp in 1, Bailey Sharp also Western A's in 2, and the Western A's trifecta, Alistair McDonald in 3. From Melbourne Uni, Patrick Nichols is in 4. From Sandringham, Matthew Holditch in 5. From Box Hill, Justin Jeffrey in 7. Matthew Bergen from Mentone is in 9. From Mornington Peninsula, Zachary Dyer in 10. And from Bendigo University, Matthew Sheep-Easy in 11. So it looks like Christian Knox leading the way at the moment. I think Bailey Sharp up there early. His teammates are thereabouts as well. Brad Hall also pacing once again. And they're really spreading themselves through this field, which is good. So Sharp, Shapp, Morpho, Holditch, Bergen. From Mornington, Dyer sitting nicely. McDonald and Skepsy sitting towards the rear of the field. Justin Jeffrey also there from Box Hill. And out front, 2 of the Western A's boys also with Matthew Holditch from Sandringham. They're pretty much our top seeds, so nothing unexpected at the moment. So McDonald now easing past Nichols, starting to make his way through. As the packs start to come together, it's one big line at the moment. So Bailey Sharp, he's a 4:26 man, and on paper, the race favourite. So taking that lead position for Western A's, what a night for them. Hussey taking 3 Victorian Mile champs in a row. So Pacer doing a great job. I don't think that's a new Pacer. So 2 to go. The field still fairly tightly bunched. Bergen and Skepsy just dropping off a little bit. And we're seeing McDonald now just edging forward again of Jeffrey. So Zach Dyer from Mornington joining the pack out front. So Pace has done his job. So Sharp leads, Holditch. Shapp next, but alongside now him is Dyer. Gap then I think to Nichols. Then Jeffrey. And joining the pack now is Alistair McDonald. So big run from Alistair. He's really, well, he could be the one who take the lead here. Was sitting towards the rear of the field, but coming down to get the bell, and the Western A's, more of our veteran runner, McDonald, takes the lead. Dyer's gone with him with Holditch, then Shapp just gets in the way of Bailey, then Jeffrey, Nichols, Skepsy and Bergen. So out front now, another change, and it's the young man from Sandringham, Matthew Holditch. Starting to really look good. So McDonald's done his work. He's got Dyer with him. Now we're seeing Justin Jeffrey starting to move through the field as well, and he might pick up a few more scalps. Nichols starting to move nicely. Skepsy's going, just getting ahead of Bergen. But out front, Matthew Holditch from Sandringham. Probably got an unassailable lead. But we are seeing Zachary Dyer from Mornington have another go. So a lot can happen over the last 20. And Dyer is really going for it. So it's Sandringham versus Mornington here. I think McDonald's run his race as with Justin Jeffrey come over the top. It ain't over yet as Holditch strides out nicely. We've got Dyer coming at him, but I think Holditch has done enough. It's going to be in the 4:30, so great race from Holditch. Dyer will take next. Justin Jeffrey, big run from McDonald though. It's really set that up. Shapp will be next position from Nichols. Skepsy, big finish from him. Then we'll have Bergen and the early leader, Sharp, who will round out the field in the men's F mile race.
Guys, walking up. Oh, well. Sorry, it was just, I don't want you to possibly muck up.
I think McDonald's run his race with Justin Jeffrey come over the top. It ain't over yet as Holditch strides out nicely. We've got Dyer coming at him, but I think Holditch has done enough. It's going to be in the 4:30, so great race from Holditch. Dyer will take next. Justin Jeffrey, big run from McDonald though. It's really set that up. Shack will be next. The night. So 72s will be our lead pacer. That's 4:30, 1500 metre pace. So underway, we have James Hall in 1, Daniel Vellardo in 3, Joel Imbriano from Diamond Valley in 4, Joji Mori, Richmond Harriers in 5, Paul Viney, Collingwood Harriers in 6, Jack Hopkinson, Collingwood Harriers in 8, from Morning Peninsula, Will Pratt in 10, Jimmy Goulis, Melbourne Uni in 12, also from Melbourne Uni, Paris Gadsden 13, and Josh Ryan is in 14. 3 pacemakers up there, and 72 or around 4:30 per 1500 is leading the way. So the field's starting to come together. Looks like it is Joji Mori, the leader of the actual race. 2 pacemakers ahead of him. So the traditional headband on for Joji. So our pacers, once again, big thank you to them. They've really helped set up some great racing here tonight as Mori leads it. Jimmy Goulis up there, Vellardo going down the outside. We've also got Josh Ryan. Also up there, Jack Hopkinson. So nicely bunched. So the men's G mile. So our top seeds are around the 4:35 mark for 1500. And that's the sort of pace they're on at the moment as they start to settle into it. Once again, absolutely perfect conditions here. Big thank you to Athletics Essendon for hosting us here this evening. So Daniel Vellardo probably leading on the track at the moment. Ryan also up there. Joji Mori just slipping back a little bit. Jimmy Goulis just to the rear of him. Then Gadsden.
And that little Adam is the end of the story.
So Pratt in next position, then Viney. Still quite nicely bunched here. Only about 10 to 12 metres separating the whole field, probably less than that. And it is Imbriano now from Diamond Valley. Ryan starting to launch with him. Vellardo's on the inside, then Mori. James Hall to the outside of him. So Imbriano in the Diamond Valley kit. Just starting to get a little break from Vellardo. Then Ryan, Mori, Goulis, Hall, Gadsden. Hopkinson in the next position. Then we have Pratt and Viney. But out front, Pacer doing a great job here. Joel Imbriano now leads the way on his own. So 500 metres out. Joel Imbriano leads. Ryan, Vellardo. Looks like Hopkinson's the next one making a move. Maury's just stuck in behind them. Hall also looking good as they come through. He's alongside Goulis with the Melbourne Uni teammate there, Gadsden, sticking nicely in this bunch. Gee, they've come right together here. And this Hopkinson is looking good. Pratt and Viney working nicely together. Now, 2 of our Masters runners. But out front, Imbriano, Hopkinson. Then Ryan's back in the picture again. This ain't over. You can just see them winding this one up. It's a very entertaining race as Hopkinson decides he's going to take his chances down the back straight. So Hopkinson, Imbriano, Ryan. Now Morey's back into it. Everyone's having a dip here. It's what we want to see. And Hopkinson's been brave. He's gone about 250 out. Now Morey winds it up. Hopkinson, Morey. Now it's Morey, Hopkinson, and Mora coming at it as well. Velado's the next one to have a shot at it. He's trying to take Ryan through with him. Imbriano just fading back, but Joji Morey leading the way here. Loves the win. Joji Morey's got the yellow headband on. Velado's coming at him, but Joji Morey, the fighting tiger, probably take this. Oh, it's close. I'll leave that up to Fado on a bad angle. Hopkinson next, then Ryan, Imbriano, Hall, good finish from him. Goulis just right on the 5. Gadsden just over. Big run here from Pratt and also Viney, our Masters athlete. So 5-9 rounds out the field there in the men's G mile race. Last but not least. He's trying to take Ryan through with him. Imbriano just fading back, but Joji Morey leading the way here. Loves the win. Joji Morey's got the yellow headband on. Velado's coming at him, but Joji Morey, the fighting tiger, probably take this. Oh, it's close. I'll leave that up to Fado on a bad angle. Hopkinson. So underway now. It's the last race of the evening, event 37, the men's H mile. We have Jonathan Mansell from Melbourne Uni, Ash Armand from Yarra Rangers, Juan Oyeda from Richmond Harriers, from Old Zavarians, Alan Coleman. We also have Robbie Jones, the Geelong runner. Also Anthony Stamoulis, Taj Fox from Mornington Peninsula, Rob Newling, Dino Imbriano, St Kevin's, and Sam Galvin. Simon May also in the field from Mansfield. So the pace is out early. Let's see how it settles here. So race 37 of 37. So great to see action all the way through the evening. Great night here at Essendon. Big thank you once again to the club for hosting us here. Been a sensational night. Big thanks also to Lockie Asamoah from On. We will see On at our final event once again, which will be at the Doncaster Athletic Track in March. We'll be back to the 8s and 15s, which will finish off a record-breaking Milers Club season. We have absolutely blown the records this year. As we see Anthony Stamoulis leading the way, Robbie Jones next, then Mansour. Also up there is Oeda, Coleman in next position. We're seeing May just starting to come to the outside there. Robbie Newling bringing up the rear, but going nicely in those trademark spikes. So out front, Stamoulis. He's a 5:15, 1500 metre runner. And we're seeing a bit of a move up there. I reckon that's one of our pacemakers. That could be Paddy Matthews just going up to give him a bit of a hand. He'll get in front of Anthony and say, come with me. So Stamoulis now got the benefit of Paddy Matthews. Knows this track very, very well. So once again, big thank you to our pacemakers. They've really had a big impact on the racing tonight. Lots of PBs, great program, and great to have the Mile Championship back here at Essendon. So Stamoulis. Jones in next position, then Mansur, then May, Oida, Coleman. Imbriano next. Then we have Galvin. With him is Fox. A little bit of a gap back. We've got the Yarra Rangers runner there and Ash Armand. Bit of a multi-eventer. So good to have Ash here at Milers Club over the mile distance. And he is an absolute legend. Rob Newling bringing up the rear here in this race, but looking good. 2 laps out. Ian, I think your lap. So out front, it is Stamoulis. Looks like he's in the old Zabs colours, or the Xavier colours. Robbie Jones, haven't seen him racing at Miles for a little while. An excellent middle distance runner in his day, and it's great to see Rob back out here at Milers. But Paddy Matthews doing a great job. I reckon you can go another lap, Paddy. I'll pay you extra. So Stamoulis, Jones, May, Mansour, Imbriano, Oida, Coleman next. Then we have Galvin. Fox in next position. On to the last lap. And Paddy Matthews is still doing that job. He's going to get double the pay tonight for this one, Paddy. So Stamoulis hanging on nicely. Gee, the big one to watch here is Simon May in the yellow of Mansfield. I reckon there could be a change of lead on this. Jones still going along nicely. As we see Armand coming through and Newling coming through to get the bell. They're all on the last lap. And I think we might see a change of lead. As Matthews does what he can to bring Stamoulis through, but step by step, Simon May is just getting closer and closer and does the passing move. So Paddy takes the gear up in 2 or 3. Well, he just lets Simon come through on the inside. Now he races him down. Give him a good challenge. So Simon May coming through strongly. Stamoulis going nicely. But Simon May, thanks Paddy, great job. Stamoulis just trying to hold off Jones and Imbriano, 2 of our Masters runners. But 5:10 thereabouts, Simon May. Stamoulis brave, 5:14. Then Imbriano, Jones, Oida, Mansour in next position. Then Coleman. Fox coming through next. Then we'll have Sam Galvin in the Richmond Harriers kit. And looking down the track, let's get behind Ash Armand and also Robbie Newling as they finalise our fields here, the last race of the night. And Ash Armand from Yarra Rangers, he's got a 7-minute time for the mile. He's going to be under 6 minutes. Ash Armand, look at that clock and go for it. Thank you for the paces. So a sub-6 minute there for Armand. Let's get Robbie Newling in. What an icon of the sport in Victoria. Great to have you back again, Robbie. Right on the 6 minutes. So once again, big thank you to Athletics Essendon. Thank you to our volunteer helpers tonight. Thanks to the Milers Club Committee. Big thank you to On for being here. Lockie Aspinall holding the fort down by himself. And let's see you all at Doncaster. Meet 5 of 5 in March.
And that's where we'll leave the broadcast of the Victorian Milers Club Meet 4. Thank you very much to Tim Crosbie commentating on the ground for us. We hope you enjoyed the coverage. We will be back tomorrow.